postseason manager. He has 67 postseason wins. That's tied for the third most in the history of baseball. But the Blue Jays understand Ohtani is coming off a great start. He had 10 strikeouts in his last game against Milwaukee in Game 4 of the championship series. They know they're in tough, but at the same time, they have beaten great pitchers all season long. A little bit different lineup tonight as Vladdy Guerrero gets bumped up to the 2 spot, nor George Springer tonight.
Springer is still on the roster. He's on the bench. We don't believe, but don't know for certain that we don't believe he is available tonight, but he is still on the roster. Day by day at this point, they're hoping to extend the series long enough to get him back, get it back to Toronto. But of course, what they need to get it back to the Rogers Center is a win either tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. Tonight, Ohtani. Tomorrow night, Blake Snell, who's anxious to pitch again after having kind of a clunker in Game 1. The Dodgers are a very good team, especially at home, and they're sending Shohei Ohtani to the mound for this decisive Game 4.
Ohtani coming off a very good start in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series against the Brewers. Buck will have more on that momentarily, but first a look at the Blue Jay lineup, and again, no Springer. So Lucas up top, Guerrero up to 2, Bichette up to 3, Barger's hitting cleanup, and how about Alejandro Kirk? Had 2 more hits, including a 3-run homer in last night's game. Varsho, Clement, Jimenez, Kiner Falefa rounding it out against Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani, he has pitched against the Blue Jays 3 previous times, all as an Angel. First time he's faced him in the postseason. Coming off the mound of Game 4 in the NLCS against Milwaukee, he threw 6 scoreless innings, allowed only 2 hits, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. And oh, by the way, he was 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. Ohtani is truly the best athlete in baseball. He can beat you, as I mentioned, in so many different ways. And the Blue Jays understand, yeah, he was on base 9 times, but last night when Dave Roberts was talking to his team in the clubhouse, Ohtani was upbeat, anxious, and looking forward to this start today. Defensively, the Dodgers made some great plays in last night's game. Teoscar Hernandez made a great throw to the cutoff man Tommy Edman at second. It's Hernandez, Baez, and Teoscar Hernandez in the outfield. Muncy and Betts on the left side. Tommy Edman, a former Gold Glove winner, along with Freddie Freeman, also a Gold Glove winner on the right side. And Will Smith, 18 innings behind the plate, and he's in there tonight to start this ball game.
Well, let's see if the Blue Jays can get off to a fast start against Ohtani tonight and try to swing the momentum in their favor right out of the chute, try to take this loud crowd out of it a little bit. They've got Lucas, Guerrero, and Bichette up top. A game last night where they had so many opportunities. Quite frankly, the Dodgers did as well. And eventually, as John Schneider said, the Dodgers just had one more good swing. There's George Springer looking on. I think John Schneider's message to his players, and he said it repeatedly last night after the game and again today, he goes, you know, the Dodgers didn't win the World Series last night. They won Game 3. Today is Game 4.
Yeah, and that's the way you have to take it. And that's the way the Blue Jays have taken their games all season long, never really giving in and forgetting about last night and focusing on this game tonight against Shohei Ohtani.
John Tumpane is the home plate umpire tonight. Nathan Lucas led off 23 times during the season for the Blue Jays, so this is not all that foreign to him as he takes up and away ball 1 from Ohtani. And Nathan Lucas and every other hitter in the lineup tonight has to be thinking, or is at least aware of the fact, that Shohei Ohtani uses 7 different pitches. There's a fastball hit down the left field line. Kike Hernandez jumps, and he made the catch. A fantastic play by Kike Hernandez, just about leaping into the seats to make it.
Kike Hernandez really shines on the big stage, and he makes a great defensive play for the first out of this game. Gets right to the wall, leaps, and reaches over the retaining wall and makes a terrific catch for the first out of the ball game. Great concentration, great focus, and a fine play to start this ball game.
Boy, you could see comfortable in his own ballpark, knew where he was. Great play by Hernandez. Here's Guerrero, who goes after a first pitch fastball that was off the corner and fouls it back. Vladdy went 2 for 7 with 2 walks last night. Like many others, he had 9 plate appearances in that 18-inning game. He is 5 for 15 in the World Series, but all 5 are singles. We saw a ton of slug from Vladdy in both the Division Series and the LCS. And Ohtani strikes him out on 3 pitches.
Big sweeping breaking ball right there, and Vladdy chased it. Ohtani, as Dad mentioned, has got 7 pitches. He only used 5 really in the course of that outing against Milwaukee, and he's had a very good curveball late in the season. Initially, he threw a lot of split finger pitches, but now because he's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, he's using more curveballs than splitters.
That's why he only threw 47 innings during the season, a very gradual ramping up for him on the mound. An inning, then a couple of outings later, 2, then 3. They weren't worried about season-long stats or anything like that. It was all a gradual, well-thought-out plan to have him at his peak in October. Big swing and a miss, and it's 0-1 on Bo Bichette.
And 98 miles an hour from Ohtani, and it looks like he got plenty of sleep last night.
With George Springer not in the lineup, Bo Bichette is in there as the DH.
No.
Just off the corner, says Tom Payne. It's a ball and a strike. So that may allow Bichette to stay in the game a little bit longer, depending on how things develop. And it's IKF at second. Boy, the stuff is nasty. The location is good early for Ohtani.
Yeah, they only made 14 regular season starts, and he only pitched 5 or more innings in 3 of those starts. As Dan mentioned, they were very cautious with him as they ramped him up toward the end of the season.
No.
Bichette lays off as Ohtani tried to get him like he did Guerrero.
Most pitches Ohtani threw in the regular season was 91. That was in his final start.
No.
And again outside, it's full. If it continues, Addison Barger would come up. He's moved up to the cleanup spot tonight.
No.
Ball 4, and Bichette aboard with a 2-out walk.
Time out.
And that'll bring up Addison Barger, and you and I were sitting right where we are sitting now, filling out our scorecards during Blue Jay BP. And I mean to tell you, Addison Barger put on some kind of a show during batting practice.
Boy, sure did. He hit it deep into the pavilion in right field multiple times and hit a couple balls over the top of the back of the Blue Jays bullpen in right.
It is noticeably warmer tonight than it was last night, and that generally means here the ball's going to fly.
Yeah, during batting practice, everybody was hitting balls into the seats. The Dodgers didn't have an extended batting practice. Not many of their hitters hit at all.
No.
Bounced in, a ball and a strike.
You can see Ohtani has used his curveball already in this game, and I spoke to Orel Hershiser, the great Dodger pitcher from the past, and he said that has been the difference in Ohtani in his last 5 starts.
Time out.
He has really gotten command of that curveball, and that complements all his other pitches.
By the way, Orel Hershiser threw out the ceremonial first pitch tonight, caught by Clayton Kershaw. That's a lot of Dodger history.
Absolutely. A lefty and a righty to set up your rotation.
1-1 on Barger.
No.
Taken down and in, ball 2. Looking down to Carlos Fablis. You can see Barger has been hot. Fastball there, 2-2.
Another fastball at 98 miles an hour. And Ohtani's a big man with a very smooth delivery. Works an awful lot on his mechanics.
No.
And a full count as he went back to a breaking ball, but again missed low.
3-2, Addison.
Alejandro Kirk waiting on deck. Bichette will be on the move on the pitch. And Barger locks in on Ohtani. And it's hit to the left field side, back of third base. Muncy's got it, but there's nothing he can do with it. It'll be an infield hit for Barger as Bichette takes second.
Yeah, Addison Barger, that's his first plate appearance against Shohei Ohtani. Ends up with an infield base hit. Blue Jays have had some opportunities in first innings throughout this postseason. You can see he fights it out. They were playing him to pull, so Max Muncy was shaded in the shortstop direction. He can glove it, but he's got nowhere to throw it.
So first and second, 2 down, and here's Alejandro Kirk again. Had another big night last night, including a 3-run homer, his 5th home run of the postseason. He is 0 for 3 in his career against Ohtani.
Well, he's swinging the bat great right now. I mean, he has really done a great job of getting his pitch, and when he does, he squares it up. He hit a bullet down in the corner in the 2nd inning. He was a long single, and Teoscar got it back to the infield very quickly.
This is popped up on the infield. Freddie Freeman is there. And the Blue Jays will leave a couple of runners on against Ohtani in the top of the first, who's now going to flip a switch, right? He's coming off the mound, and he will turn from pitcher to hitter. Not only is he a hitter, he is the leadoff hitter. So he's got to show the glove to the umpire. He's still got to finish up the pitcher chores. Show him the belt. Everything is okay. Good to go, but already you can see he is moving into hitter mode, and now he's going to put on the armor and the gear. They've left it all there on the railing for him, Buck, to try to expedite this process as much as possible.
Yeah, he doesn't get to go in the dugout. He knows he's the leadoff hitter, so he walks off the mound and gets ready to hit.
We'll take a quick break and step aside and come back for the bottom of the first when Ohtani will be advancing towards the plate.
Okay. How about we write a scary movie?
Ooh, spooky.
A scary Canadian movie.
Ooh, we can get government funding.
A hockey team. Snowed in at a chalet. No power, no food, and there's a slasher on the loose. This doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because Skip is Canadian, so Canadians could just skip it. Hey.
Tried all the drugstore conditioners and still can't find the one? You belong on the inside. Every Beauty Insider receives personalized recommendations, gifts, and more. Become a Sephora Beauty Insider for free today.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. First, peel on pack, then peel in app for another chance to win. With millions of prizes to be won, it's time to peel like a winner with Monopoly Double Play.
On to the bottom of the first here at Dodger Stadium, and a look at Dave Roberts' lineup tonight. Right out of the chute, here's Ohtani. You can call him a pitcher, a DH, both. He is doing both right now. 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 walks, 4 of them intentional. Last night, Freddie Freeman hit the walk-off homer. Just so many dangerous hitters in the lineup. The Blue Jay bullpen did as much as it could for as long as it could, but eventually Freeman walked it off. Shane Bieber, acquired at the deadline to pitch in games like this, is on the mound.
Yeah, he's making his 7th career postseason start and his 4th as a Blue Jay. It's only his 2nd career start against the Dodgers. He made 4 career starts against other National League opponents, but this is only his 2nd start against the Dodgers. He hasn't pitched since a while. He pitched Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile Park in Seattle at the end of that series. He got the Blue Jays back in the game. He won that game against Seattle in Game 3 to get them back to a 1-2 situation, and certainly started the comeback for the Blue Jays.
And here is Ohtani. Who tied or broke numerous major league records with his performance last night, to the point where the Blue Jays just decided to have nothing to do with him after the 7th inning, basically.
No.
As Bieber misses upstairs again, it is 2-0. Ohtani, though, just 2 for 13 with 6 strikeouts in his career against Bieber.
No.
3-0.
Yeah, man, obviously they were pitching for the Guardians and Ohtani playing for the Angels, so they have met in previous ball games.
And the first strike of the night for Bieber. It's 3-1.
Shane is not overpowering. His fastball will be 93, maybe 94 occasionally. He relies an awful lot on location and changing speeds.
Curveball called a strike. Ohtani thought it was low, and it looked like it was. but it'll go Bieber's way, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, Bieber has to be able to throw his secondary pitches for strikes when he is behind. He can't challenge these hitters with fastballs when he has hitter counts against him.
Boy, and Dave Roberts is fired up early.
No.
And maybe it's all even up because that one looked like a strike, but it goes Ohtani's way. Bieber wants to know where it was. It's not strike 3, it's ball 4.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit of a makeup by the home plate umpire, John Payne, because it had plenty of the plate. The previous curveball looked like it was definitely low, but Ohtani takes a walk. That's 6 straight walks now for Ohtani, and he's reached base in his last 14 plate appearances here at Dodger Stadium.
Here's Mookie Betts. And Bieber catches the corner with a fastball. Betts 2 for 15 in the series, 1 for 9 in his career against Bieber.
No.
Ohtani doesn't look like he is interested in running, and I didn't look this up, but I wonder if he runs less in the games where he is pitching because he wants to conserve his energy for what he's got to do on the mound.
And remember, too, he had a cramp in the game last night at second base, so he might be trying to be a little cautious on the bases.
Short lead, hands on his knees.
No.
2-1 on Betts. Bieber does want to keep those breaking balls down and away from the right-handed hitters.
Yeah, and that's something that's going to get better and better as he gets more games under his belt coming back from Tommy John. Only made 7 regular season starts. This is his 4th postseason start.
And this would figure to be potentially his last outing of the season unless the series went 6 or 7 and he were able to come in relief. Whether they would even consider that, who knows, given that he's coming off Tommy John. But it's all about game 4, trying to even up this series with a win here tonight. Bounced in. And look at the technique by Kirk just to get in front of it. Didn't try to catch it. Didn't try to stab at it. Just blocked it.
Yeah, he's one of the best in baseball. And it's a breaking ball, curveball right out in the front of home plate. And he plays it right off his chest protector. I mean, it's a textbook block by Alejandro. That curveball will generally bounce higher than the slider. The slider, when you throw it in the dirt, has a tendency to scoot on you. But the curveball will bounce up, so he had to stay high.
Let's see if Ohtani is running on 3-2. He is not. And Betts lifts a fly ball to right center, not deep at all. Barger comes over with Varsho pointing at him to make the catch. 1 down. To bring up Freddie Freeman, who last night became the first player in Major League history with 2 walk-off home runs in World Series play.
Now, last year he had a walk-off grand slam in the first inning against the Yankees, and last night, or early this morning, he hit a home run to center field to walk off the Blue Jays in Game 3.
And you do have to give a lot of credit to both bullpens, really. The Dodger bullpen was sensational last night. The Blue Jay bullpen was very good. It went 12 2/3 and gave up 3 runs. But there's only so many times you can try to navigate Betts, Freeman, Smith, Hernandez, Muncy. They weren't pitching to Ohtani by this point, and get away with it. These guys don't have the numbers they have by accident.
No, and that's interesting because all the armchair quarterbacks are saying, why are you pitching to Ohtani? And John Snyder says, you know what? The 2 guys behind him are going to the Hall of Fame. They're pretty good, too. So you just can't say, okay, I'm going to put you on and pitch the next 2 guys because they've had terrific careers themselves.
Chopper to second, backs up IKF. They'll force Ohtani at second. So they get the lead runner and Freeman aboard on a fielder's choice. You could see IKF did not rush that at all. He knew there was no chance for 2, just wanted to make sure they get 1.
And you can see how conservative Ohtani is running the bases. I mean, he's just under control, knowing that he's not going to push it. And Manis makes a stretch like a first baseman. They knew they were only going to get the lead runner at second.
So 2 down. Freeman is now the runner at first, and here's Will Smith, the catcher. 4 for 13 with a home run so far in the World Series. Outside, ball 1. Shane Bieber grew up down in Orange County, grew up an Angels fan, not a Dodgers fan. Has only pitched in this ballpark once 3 years ago. And went 6 1/3, gave up 2 earned runs. Fouled off 1-1 and got a piece of Kirk.
Yeah, it looked like it hit him on the tap of his foot. He's got that extension on his shin guard. It goes all the way to the end of his shoes. And it still caught him on the foot. And you take a look at it, it's actually hit him in the inside of his right thigh. That's one of the issues when you go down on one knee. You expose yourself to a lot of open spaces that aren't protected.
They really play Smith to pull on the infield. And he lines the ball to right center field. Barger going back, but he's got room. And will make the catch to end the inning. Through 1 here in Game 4. No score between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. You're watching the 2025 World Series on Sportsnet.
You know where the Blue Jays are from. But pride doesn't stop at city limits. It goes beyond. Finding home in more than a city. It takes root in a whole nation. Let's go, baby! Because home isn't just a point on a map. It's a feeling in our hearts. And right now, this pride can be felt from coast to coast to coast. Now that we've made it this far, it's time to bring it home.
Marion has always enjoyed a cozy movie night in. Her husband, however, finds these nights a little uncomfortable. Thankfully, Leon's offers interest-free financing, so you can feel the comfort without feeling cramped. You do you, Marion.
Subway Cyber Sub Days are here, so we've baked up a fresh deal. Buy 1 foot-long sub in the app, get one for $2. That's right, but don't wait. This offer ends November 9th. Join Subway MVP Rewards and use the code to get this exclusive app deal.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance.
I'll look at what Shohei Ohtani has accomplished this year. The top 2 numbers are offensive numbers, including regular season and postseason. 63 home runs in 171 games. And again, limited innings because he was coming off Tommy John, but small sample size. A guy who on this team might be the, who knows really, 2, 3, 4 starter. He'd be the ace on just about any other team. John Schneider and everybody else you talk to absolutely can't say enough about the talent this man has.
You know what? There's often conversations about the GOAT. Who's the greatest of all time? And it's hard to argue that it's not Shohei Ohtani. He's an outstanding athlete to begin with. And you talk to these Dodger folks down here, and they've been around sports their whole life. They say he's better than Bo Jackson, he's better than Deion Sanders, and he's better than Michael Jordan. 2 sport athletes that did it, and he's a 2-position baseball player. But to be that good as a pitcher and that great as a hitter, absolutely incredible.
Obviously, before the DH came to the National League, all pitchers hit, but nobody hit like this. He hits well enough to win an MVP on the basis of hitting alone. And he is also an outstanding pitcher. As Dalton Varsho leads off the second and pops up a first pitch fastball for Mookie Betts. One thing, and I know we mentioned this last night, but again, this is the World Series, and a lot of people are watching baseball who maybe don't watch it regularly during the season. As if and when Shohei Ohtani comes out of the game as a pitcher, he will remain in the game as the designated hitter. It is the so-called Ohtani rule that was enacted in 2022.
Yeah, and they don't want to penalize Ohtani because he's so talented to say if you're a pitcher and you leave the game, you can't hit. So they have amended the rules.
No.
A ball and a strike now on Ernie Clement, who has never faced Shohei Ohtani before tonight. Ernie is 4 for 15 in the World Series and hitting .386 in the postseason. At the knees, 1 and 2. Clement doesn't look like he liked it. Will step out for a moment and now right back in. All the way to the backstop.
You know, it's just not the fact that Ohtani is talented, that he can pitch and hit. It's the fact that he works so hard at both of those skills. I mean, he is meticulous in his preparation as a pitcher. He's not out there just throwing because he's got a great arm. He knows how to pitch.
Ground ball to first. Freeman will feed Ohtani, covering 2 down.
If they needed Ohtani to play in the outfield, he'd probably play center field because he can run so well. And he can do everything. You see how easily he got to first base on that little tapper off the bat of Ernie. But as I said earlier, on any given night, baseball will humble even the best.
2 down. Here's Andres Gimenez playing short again, hitting in the 8th spot. 2 for 13 so far in the World Series. And he hits a little weak ground ball back to the mound, and it's a very quick inning for Ohtani. No score as this one moves to the bottom of the 2nd.
Search spy movies.
Rogers Xfinity is here with the next generation of streaming. Now Keanu can spend more time watching all his TV.
Yes! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!
All his streams.
What?
You're so cute.
Even the shows Keanu can't help but love.
My list.
The best entertainment experience is here with Rogers Xfinity.
Wouldn't life be great if you didn't have to wait to upsize for your dream retirement? Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
Donated blood, show the man. Give it, take it, give it, take it.
Welcome back. Eric Lauer credits his starters' workload and mentality for helping him grind through 4 2/3 scoreless innings of relief last night. Now, the Blue Jays would not have had all those opportunities to win the ball game in extra innings had it not been for what Lauer's manager described as, quote, an unbelievable outing. Lauer threw 68 pitches, is 50 more than all the other postseason games he had thrown in this month. John Schneider said he often checked in with Lauer, particularly after his 2nd inning of work, and Lauer said he was convicted with how he felt and wanted to continue. His stuff was still holding, Schneider said. In the last inning, you could see it come down a little bit, but that was a performance for the ages. Chris Bassett, who threw 8 pitches in relief, acknowledged the team has asked a lot of the veteran left-hander this season, and he's always come through. Bassett told me, quote, we have the utmost trust in Lauer, and Dan, Lauer proved once again that he was right. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. And what an outing he had. You saw 4 walks, but 3 of those were intentional walks to Ohtani, a guy who they've had in so many different roles, completely selfless, great teammate. Whatever they need from him, they get. And, you know, in a parallel universe, we might be talking about last night so differently because of what Lauer did, but the Blue Jays were just unable to scratch out a run at various points. Springer, due to injury, Bichette, Barger, and Kirk all leaving for pinch runners, and they just didn't have many ways they could not solve the Dodger bullpen.
It looked like the second half of a spring training game with all those stars out of the lineup.
A strike on the outside edge to Teoscar Hernandez, who went 4 for 8 with a home run in last night's game. He's just 2 for 15 in his career against Bieber.
No.
As he takes the curveball low.
Bieber's got a good curveball early in this outing. That's a great sign for the Blue Jays to complement his fastball with that curveball and the slider. And don't forget about his changeup. That's a very important pitch for him as well.
Ground ball to short, right at Jimenez. And the throw in plenty of time for out number 1.
He set up perfectly and got him to look at that curveball and it kept him back, less aggressive against the fastball. It gets jammed and it's a weak grounder to the shortstop.
And then as to say he has settled in at short since the injury to Bo Bichette would be an understatement. I don't think it's really surprising anybody, but he's been outstanding there.
No, he sure has. He came up as a shortstop in the minor leagues and played a lot of shortstop early in his career.
No.
He's a 3-time Gold Glover and a Platinum Glove Award winner. He can pick it.
Here's Max Muncy, the Dodger third baseman.
No.
Takes a changeup low as Bieber falls behind 2-0. Does not usually hit for much of an average, but he's got power and he will take a walk.
No.
As he takes the curve high and Bieber's behind 3-0.
Oh, 4.
And a 4-pitch walk. Second given up by Bieber, who has not had any walk issues at all in his time with the Blue Jays this year. He has never walked more than 2 in a game.
Yeah, he's always been around to play it, and that's his trademark. He has to hit his spots and use all of his pitches equally. A couple of different fastballs, a knuckle curveball, side, and a great changeup.
1 on, 1 out for Tommy Edman, the switch hitting second baseman. This is hit well, but it's foul. Edman had a huge role in last night's game, but it was with his arm, not his bat.
Yeah, he made 2 great plays. He drew out Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on a ball that went off the glove of the first baseman, Freeman, into shallow right. IKF trying to go first to third, and Edman delivered a terrific throw to nail him. And then he had that relay to the plate to cut down Davis Snyder later on in the game.
No.
Each team lost men on the bases, but it was really probably more because of great throws by the other team than anything else.
Now, there were 6 outs on the bases in that game last night over the course of the 18 innings. Many good defensive plays on both sides.
No.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Well, the last thing George Springer wants to do is be wearing a hoodie and leaning on that railing in the first base dugout, but right side discomfort is what we have been told. Unable to start tonight's game. Day to day, says John Schneider. This is up the middle. It'll be a base hit, and Muncy's going to come around second and go to third, as Varsho had to come a long way to get that ball. He was over in left center, and the Dodgers have runners on the corners.
Yeah, and the Dodgers understand that Varsho's arm is not 100% yet, coming back from that offseason shoulder surgery. Tommy Edman hits it right back up the middle through the infield into center, and you can see where Barger starts out. He's got a long way to go over toward right center. And Muncy, not the fastest Dodger by any means, but he understands that Varsho is not 100% with that throwing arm.
So the best opportunity yet for the Dodgers. First and third, 1 out. Here's the number 8 hitter, Kike Hernandez, who has already made a great catch in this game. Knocked down by Kirk.
Time out.
Blue Jays have turned 9 double plays in this postseason, and their defense has always been top-notch. They were really looking to get a ground ball right now. Kike Hernandez has really done a great job in the postseason, stepping up his game from a kind of disappointing offensive season.
First warning.
And Bieber getting a warning for coming set before the hitter was set in the box and eyes on the mound.
Here we go.
Now Hernandez digs in, and now Bieber comes set. And the 1-0. Swung on and missed, 1-1. Good spot for that slider.
Yeah, and that's what he needs. He needs to be able to start it on the outer half and break it away. So it really forces the Dodger hitters to swing at it when it's on the plate initially and then breaks down and away.
Bounced foul, third base side. Bieber out in front. This guy seems to love the big moments. You and I have had a couple of opportunities to speak with him in the Dodger clubhouse this week. He is a big personality guy. He likes the spotlight. He loves playing in big games in front of big crowds.
Yeah, and you know what? He's just over 200 for the regular season, but in the postseason, he's up to 286.
1-2. Good. Here we go.
A couple of Hernandezes have had a big impact for the Dodgers in the postseason. Teo and Kike.
Bieber ahead, 1-2.
No.
Lays off 2-2. Ohtani looming just a couple of spots away. Can Bieber find a way to get out of this before he comes up? Hooked down the left field line. It is a foul ball.
Off-speed pitch. He was out in front with 2 strikes. He's shortened up, just trying to put the bat on the ball, but you could see he was on that front side before that ball got to home plate, and he hooks it just foul. Nice try, Teo.
Again, the 2-2. And a fastball hit in the air to right center, deep but playable. Barger the catch. Muncy can easily tag and come home, and the sac fly gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead.
6th RBI of the postseason for Kike Hernandez. He puts the Dodgers on the board. Max Muncy gets credit going first to third on that base hit by Tommy Edman, and the Dodgers score first here tonight. That ball carried a long way. A 2-strike swing from Kike Hernandez on the way to the warning track in deep right center.
Now the number 9 hitter, Andy Pages, who continues to start in spite of the fact that he's not hitting at all right now. And Dave Roberts keeps saying out loud, yeah, considering other options, and we'll think about it on a daily basis. Pages in the postseason is 4 for 48.
No.
1-1.
Timeout.
And these are the kinds of at-bats where if the Blue Jays are going to win, you almost think this is a must-get. Get Pages finish the inning as opposed to a couple of men on with Ohtani on deck. To deep left center. But there's room for Varsho, and Pages is retired. The Dodgers, though, score the first run of the night.
Check out the big stars, big series, and blockbuster movies streaming on Paramount Plus. Cue the music. Like NCIS Tony and Ziva. Tulsa King.
Nobody's seen that coming.
The Substance. And The Naked Gun.
That was awesome.
Now that's a mountain of entertainment.
McCain. Together is golden.
As Canada faces economic uncertainty, we have a plan to secure our future, and it starts in the Ring of Fire, an area in Northern Ontario rich with critical minerals, the ones needed to build medical devices. We can create more than 70,000 jobs across the province by unearthing these minerals and add $22 billion to Ontario's economy. That's how we protect Ontario, made from the Ring of Fire.
As a proud fan and the official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays, TD is ready for October baseball. Ready for you.
The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle gives you live sports and entertainment all in one place. There's something for everyone with the best in live sports and hit shows from the biggest networks in TV. Visit sportsnetplus.ca to bundle today. 1-0 Dodgers going to the top of the third here in Game 4. Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Hazel May. As always, we are so glad you are with us. What a month it has been for the Blue Jays. They are trying to even up this series with a win tonight. If they can do that, it would also mean that the series would, without question, go back to the Rogers Center in Toronto. Through 2 innings, they've gotten a walk and a hit off Ohtani. Those both came with 2 outs in the first, but he got Kirk to pop up to end that threat, and then he retired the Blue Jays in order in the second. There was a lot of talk before the game wondering if last night's 18-inning game, would that lead to fatigue for Ohtani on the mound 24 hours later? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue at all. He's had good velocity on his fastball. Of course, it depends on how long they want to go with him, and as long as he's keeping the Blue Jay hitters in check, I think they'll stay with him because of all of the relievers they had to use in the game last night. The Dodgers used 10 relievers. And Dave Roberts knows that he's got to be very prudent when he makes a move to the bullpen. Tyler Glasnow started that game last night. But Dave Roberts understands he wants to get as many innings as he can out of Ohtani, who's gone 6 innings in each of his previous 2 postseason starts.
He starts Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with a breaking ball on the outside corner. It's 0-1. IKF has seen a fair bit of Ohtani, and he is 3 for 12 with a double against him. Fastball at 98, 0-2. He does not walk many. He is coming after you.
No.
Ball 1.
Now, I always watch for a pitcher's presence on the mound and how quickly he's working. And Ohtani reflects that he feels pretty good about what he's featuring early in this game.
Good.
Gets the ball back from the catcher, toes the rubber, and looks for the sign.
Grounded past the mound to Edman out at second for out number 1.
Hey. Hey.
First time through the order, just a walk and an infield single. That's all the Blue Jays have been able to manage against Ohtani.
Timeout.
And it looks like he's got maybe a shoelace situation. He asked John Tumpane for a moment. As the lineup turns over, Nathan Lucas comes up for the second time. Hit a fly ball down the left field line in foul territory, and Kike Hernandez made a great catch, reaching over that low wall and into the seating area to make the play.
No.
Inside, ball 1. Hit pretty well, but foul down the right side. A ball and a strike.
The key to a pitcher's success is his ability to repeat his delivery. Pay attention to your setup. Pay attention to where you're standing on the mound. Try to repeat that delivery with all of your pitches.
There's a base hit into right for Lucas. A long run for Teoscar Hernandez, but he gets to it in time to hold Lucas to a long single.
Now, you can see Nathan Lucas running full out to the bag at first base, keeping his eye on Teoscar. The Blue Jays are aware that Teoscar can have his issues in right field. But he gets on top of this high fastball and lines it into right field, running hard out of the box, watching the right fielder, just in case there's a bobble. If he bobbles it, he's got a chance to go to second, but he played it cleanly back to hold Nathan to a single.
No.
Now Guerrero's second look at him tonight. Ohtani struck him out on 3 pitches in the first.
Timeout.
Vladdy still 3 for 9 with a double and a homer in his career. And Guerrero alerting The folks here at Dodger Stadium, there was a beach ball on the warning track in deep right center, a fairly common occurrence here at Dodger Stadium.
Something you don't see at Rogers Center.
No, not this much. Freeman holding on Lucas. And the 1-0 to Guerrero.
No.
Inside, ball 2.
Well, one good thing for the Blue Jays tonight in this lineup without George Springer is they have Vladdy and Bo back-to-back in the lineup. What that does to Ohtani and Dave Roberts is makes them focus on Guerrero. Just can't be cavalier with the way you pitch to Guerrero with Bo Bichette on deck. You know, if he didn't have that protection, you could just pitch around him. But now with Bichette back there, he being such a tough out, you got to really focus on Guerrero and try to retire him before Bo comes to the plate.
So Vladdy hitting in the 2 spot for the first time in a long time, with both of them just moving up a spot in the order. Hit well to deep left center. And this one will go. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. lines one into the seats in left center, and the Blue Jays take the lead.
His 7th postseason home run, and that is a new Blue Jays franchise record. He broke the tie with Joe Carter and Jose Bautista. And the Blue Jays need a big night from Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Off to a good start. That's only the 4th home run Ohtani has given up this season, regular season and postseason. Byron Buxton, Taylor Wood, L.V. Marte, and now Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Vamos, let's go, boys. Big game tonight.
Bichette swings at the first pitch. Hits one out to Edman. 2 down and a chance to look at the Guerrero home run again.
Well, we have seen it all the way back to BP. The ball is flying in this ballpark tonight. I don't think Vladdy really barreled that up. I think he hit it toward the end of the bat, but he's so strong that he muscled it out of this ballpark.
And in October to remember continues for number 27. There are a lot of things that get that Blue Jay dugout fired up, but I don't know that anything does it more than a big hit from Guerrero.
Now, this is Vladdy's team. There's no question about it. When he rocks, the Blue Jays rock.
Here's Addison Barger. Had an infield hit his first time up.
No.
The count 1-1 here. And we had not seen many mistakes at all from Ohtani, but that breaking ball kind of hung on the inner half, and Guerrero hit it out.
Yeah, take a look at the height of this breaking ball. It looked like it might have been a cutter. Didn't have a lot of break on it, and it stayed right up out over the plate. Had a little more break from that angle, but it was high in the zone, and Vladdy knocked it out of the ballpark.
Now Barger sends a fly ball to left. Kike Hernandez is there. The side is retired, but the Blue Jays have the lead here in Game 4 as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. delivers again. He homers off Shohei Ohtani, and it's 2-1 Jays.
There are millions of square kilometers without coverage across Canada. Places where it's hard to reach 911 or just check in. Introducing Rogers Satellite, a new satellite-to-mobile texting service that connects your phone in areas without cell service, so you can connect here, here, or even here. And now anyone on any provider can try it for free. Rogers Satellite. The sky's the limit.
All right, friends, it is the final round. Zippers, goggles, bottles. This country's ready to pop.
My parents would probably, back in the day, would say, no, money is everything. But it's just a tool for us to spend more time doing the things we want to do, which is start a new business, which is be with our children more, which is travel when we can,
I think having the financial advisor who can kind of make everything English and help us understand it in a really simple way was important.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. delivering when the Blue Jays needed the most, giving them the lead here early in Game 4.
Nathan Lucas single to right field, and Vladdy follows him up with a long drive into the seats in left. And a lot of Blue Jay fans here, they all rise to their feet when that ball went out of the ballpark. That's at the watch party in Toronto. But they have 27,000 last night. Looks like they got another good crowd there tonight.
Net proceeds going to Jays Care. What a great scene to see that many people in Toronto watching this game live out here in L.A. Guerrero with a homer. The Blue Jays lead the Dodgers 2-1 going to the bottom of the third. Shane Bieber now to face the top of the order for the Dodgers, beginning with Ohtani.
What a great opportunity for those fans in Toronto, like going to a movie and watching your favorite team.
Bieber walked Ohtani to lead off the bottom of the first.
Okay. No.
Low, ball one. Ohtani has now reached base in 11 consecutive plate appearances. 1 tonight, 9 last night, and his last at bat in Game 2 when he had a base hit. Big cut and a foul off, 1-1. Bieber doesn't have 7 pitches, but he can mix 5 pretty well.
Yeah, and he knows he has to mix them in a timely fashion. The changeup is a big pitch for him. He's had a good curveball early in this game. There's a little cutter right there, a foul tip right on the inside part of the plate. And Ohtani asks for time, wants a chance to regroup a little bit.
Here we go.
Ohtani steps back in. Bieber ready to go. And the 1-2. No. Kirk asked for the appeal, but no swing, and it's 2-2.
I love the fact that both of these teams, their players are right on the top step, watching each respective pitcher work their way through the opposing lineups. I mean, you have to watch what's going on the field to really get a feel for what a pitcher's doing.
Swing and a miss. He got him for out number 1.
A great sequence again. That's the first strikeout of the ball game for Shane Bieber. You can see it's that changeup he throws in a great spot on the outer half, running away from Ohtani, and he had to reach for it and couldn't make contact.
First strikeout of the night for Bieber. And here's Mookie Betts to take a fastball in for a strike. Clement for out number 2.
And that's a result of understanding how Bieber's going to pitch to Mookie Betts. They were playing him to pull. Bernie's only about 5 feet from the foul line, and that line drive had a chance to get past him down the line, but he was defending perfectly. Good job by the infield defense. Carlos Fablis is responsible for that. He's on the top step, moving him around right now.
Here's Freddie Freeman. 0-1 as Bieber gets the call on the low fastball. Freeman bouncing into a fielder's choice in the first. Fouled back, and you can see that's the changeup again. It's a hard changeup at 88-89. It almost feels, Buck, like it acts like a two-seamer more than a changeup, but just a little something to mess with the hitter's time.
Yeah, and ideally, it is a change of pace. His fastball is 93, occasionally 94, and then just enough to disrupt the timing of the hitters.
He is locating well here tonight.
And you can see his rhythm and tempo is really picked up in the first inning. It's a perfect night for pitchers to pitch. It's warm, you get loose, you feel real good about what you're featuring.
Line to left, and it'll get down for a base hit in front of Lucas. Freeman aboard with a 2-out single.
And that ball stayed out over the plate. Freddie Freeman's a great hitter. He's one of the best hitters among active players in all of baseball. He's got a very short stroke. You can see that ball is up just 89 miles an hour on the outer half of the plate, and he stays on it and drives it into left.
He's got such an unusual swing. The bat path, the follow through, but boy, has it worked for him for many, many years. Here's Will Smith.
Now,
who lined out to right in the first inning.
Well, Freddie Freeman's swing allows him to cover so many areas of the strike zone because it stays in the strike zone a long time. He's never thinking about pulling the ball on every swing. He just stays with the pitch and goes wherever it is.
now.
Bieber falls behind 2-0. And now ball 3. And again, Bieber does not generally have command issues at all. He does not walk a lot of guys, but he has walked 2 already tonight, and he's 3-0 on Smith.
And he's thrown 52 pitches already. That reflects the fact he hasn't been as consistent in the zone as he would like.
Smith looks at 1, 3-1. They got him at a deadline deal for minor league pitching prospect Cal Steven from Cleveland. Bieber coming off Tommy John surgery. Got him knowing it would be 8, 9, 10 starts, and then they hoped some in the postseason as well. Grounded to third. Clements got it, and across the diamond to get Smith. And a good inning for Bieber. 2-1 Blue Jays at the end of 3.
Standing in line to see the show.
The Blue Jays are taking on the postseason, and Tim Hortons wants to celebrate with fans right across the country.
Each time the Blue Jays get 9 or more hits in a game, you'll get a medium ice cap for just $1 with the minimum purchase. It's only in the Tim's app for 24 hours after the game.
Get excited, Blue Jays fans. Download the Tim's app and cheer on Canada's team.
Marshall's buyers travel far and wide to hustle the best of the best for you. They're quality obsessed, deal-making professionals. We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
All right, gang, listen up. It's time to learn the pro pose. Coach, bend and snap. Beautiful form. Nice arm extension. Facial expression, could use some work. All right, let's see it. The pro pose. What's that guy doing?
I think that's the bend and snap.
That's a whole different deal. Charm, home of the pro pose. Oh.
Well, the evidence doesn't lie.
City TV Plus. Start your free trial today.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Rogers, proud owner of Canada's team. Let's bring it home.
Well, Alejandro Kirk, plain and simple, was one of the most valuable Blue Jays during the regular season. And if anything, Buck, he may have stepped up his game here in October.
Well, he's been awesome. He really got started the final day of the regular season. And last night, he jumped on the first pitch curveball from Tyler Glasnow to hit a 3-run home run and give the Blue Jays the lead. That was his second hit in as many at-bats, and then he makes a terrific throw. Ohtani lost contact with the base at second, and IKF keeps the tag on him when he comes off. And Kirk has done a great job at the plate. He's been an outstanding player. He's a Gold Glove finalist this year to win that Gold Glove, and he is well deserving of that for sure. But he has really stepped up his game. You know, he had a tough September, but right at the end, and when the Blue Jays needed him most, he stepped up big time and carried that momentum right into the postseason.
So far, this is the 15th game of the postseason for the Blue Jays. Kirk has 5 home runs and 13 runs driven in.
Yeah, man, he has done a lot of things historically as far as Mexican-born players. He became the first Mexican-born player to homer in a World Series game.
0-1.
And now he's got a couple of them.
5 home runs in the postseason, in a single postseason, the most ever for any player from Mexico. And also tied for the most ever for any catcher. Fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
Sandy Alomar Jr. and Cal Raleigh, the other 2 catchers with 5 home runs in a postseason.
Time out. Listo. Here we go.
1-1 the count.
No. Hit him.
Didn't go. 2 balls and a strike. It was interesting. John Tumpane yelled down to first. Adam. That's Adam Hammery, the first base umpire.
He's doing a good job. I like the way he's assertive with his calls.
2-2.
That was an issue in the game last night with home plate umpire Mark Wegner on a controversial call with Dalton Varsho to play. He never said ball or strike.
That was the one where Bichette thought it was ball 4. Big swing and a miss on a curveball. Kirk down on strikes. And John Schneider told us today, Dalton Varsho told him that, well, A, Wegner is deliberate with his strike call, but that Varsho never heard the word strike or strike 2 from Wegner. And that's why John Schneider was out. And he said, like, listen, Mark Wegner is the crew chief of a World Series crew. He's been around a long time. But it was a very unfortunate play on a number of levels for the Blue Jays in the very first inning.
Yeah, man, it really robbed the Blue Jays of a big inning in the first.
No.
1-1 on Varsho here. He popped up in his first at bat. He had never faced Ohtani coming into this game.
No.
You know, we talk about that play with Varsho. That was actually in the second inning in the game last night as Tyler Glasnow retired the side in order in the first.
No.
And Glasnow threw only 8 pitches, went 1, 2, 3 in the first, and that incident was in the second inning.
There were a few innings last night where you look at them and you think, well, almost all the time they'd get 1 run out of that, but they had some zeros in those innings last night, and ultimately one of the reasons why they lost.
And actually, when you play 18 innings, you might lose track of an inning here or there.
You got that right. The tied for the longest ever World Series game. It ended with nobody out in the bottom of the 18th. Another strikeout for Ohtani. He's gotten Kirk and Varsho now back-to-back.
Yeah, and that's that curveball we talked about earlier. He's throwing more curveballs now than when he first began pitching because it takes less pressure on his elbow. That split finger pitch has been an issue. He's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, so he's focusing more on the curveball than he is on the splitter.
He's thrown 8 curves, only 2 splits so far tonight. Here's Ernie Clement, who grounded out in his first at bat.
No.
Just down and away. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. That's not the curve. That's a little harder. That's a sweeper there from Ohtani. 1-2 as he gets Ernie to expand the strike zone.
Chased another sweeper. That one was a high, flat breaking ball.
Again, the appeal, no swing. It's 2-2.
Ernie has such a knack for leaving that bat behind him. He starts his body, he thinks about swinging, but he never commits with the bat.
Dave Roberts has a relaxed posture in the dugout. I don't know if he's actually that relaxed on the inside, but that's a pretty relaxed posture for a World Series.
You know what? He has had a terrific run as the manager of the Dodgers. 10 years.
Yep.
He is tied with Bobby Cox for the third most postseason wins at 67, trailing only the great Joe Torre and the Hall of Famer Tony La Russa.
He looks like he's sitting on a park bench watching, you know, kids playing in the park or dogs running around. It looks very relaxed. Maybe he's relaxed, as you say, because he's got such a good team. Ohtani strikes out the side in the top of the fourth, but it's the Blue Jays who still have the lead. They are up 2-1, going bottom four here in Game 4.
You know where the Blue Jays are from, but pride doesn't stop at city limits. It goes beyond, finding home in a whole nation. Because home isn't just a point on a map. It's a feeling in our hearts. And right now, we can feel it from coast to coast to coast. Now that we've made it this far, it's time to bring it home.
The new DQ Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger is piled high with Applewood smoked bacon. Bacon, bacon, and bacon. Try our new Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger in a single, double, or triple. Single starting at just $6.99.
Sonic, to me, in one word, I would choose success because I succeeded using it. I've tried to quit smoking over 10 to 15 times, and then I stumbled across Sonic. So I gave that a whirl and been using them ever since. My wife looks at me today like I can do anything and I'm a superstar for quitting smoking once and for all.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is highly addictive, only to be used by adults who are trying to quit smoking.
All right, friends, it is the final round. Zippers, goggles, bottles. This country's ready to pop.
The next Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $40 million. So if you win, you won't just see the world. You could see it with your sister, your parents, all your friends, even your own personal chef. Now that's dreaming to the max.
Discover Halloween with countless ways to play. Only on FanDuel Casino.
Well, what a great year it's been at the Rogers Center this season. The Blue Jays hoping to get it back there for one, maybe two more games later on this week. Don't miss your chance to experience it all over again in 2026. 2026 members get exclusive benefits, discounts, and more. Visit BlueJays.com/memberships to learn more. Decent number of Blue Jay fans here, considering how far away from home most of them must be, and the fact that this is the World Series. This is not just a regular season series in the middle of June. This is the biggest stage of all. A beautiful night, a warm night, clear shot of the hills, much different weather than last night. 2-1 Blue Jays, bottom four. Teoscar Hernandez drives one to center, but playable for Varsho and quickly one out.
Don't you get a real comfortable level when you see a ball going to center field with Dalton out there?
Yep.
I mean, you get such a great jump, such a great read on the ball off the bat. You never really panic unless you see his number heading away from the infield. That's when you get concerned.
That was the situation last night when Freddie Freeman hit the game-winning home run in the 18th inning. 2-1 Blue Jays, bottom four. Here's Max Muncy, who walked and scored in the second.
Timeout. Your helmet or you need timeout? All right. I need time anyway. So all right, good.
Little helmet adjustment, and Muncy using his timeout. Each player gets 1 timeout per plate appearance. Good curveball, 0-2.
Shane has had pretty good command of his pitches. You could see him shake quickly on that suggestion from his catcher, Alejandro Kirk.
He wanted to go right back to it, and with good reason. 2 down.
Or when you've got a good feeling for a particular pitch, I don't care if it's the 4th inning, the 5th inning, the 8th inning, if you have a good feel for that curveball, throw it again. And you can see the dramatic downward break. And Max Muncy never picked up on the spin, just kind of waved at it, trying to put the bat on the ball and then stay alive. But he swung and missed. Second strikeout for Bieber.
And now right even before this at-bat begins, Tommy Edman will use his timeout. Had a base hit up the middle in his first at-bat.
No!
Now that base hit chased Max Muncy from first to third and set up Kike Hernandez with that sac fly.
One of just 2 hits the Dodgers have so far off Bieber. Both singles.
Well, you know, you forget that Shane Bieber was a Cy Young Award winner, and he was a terrific pitcher. Then made 2 starts in 2024 for the Guardians and had to undergo Tommy John surgery. And then the first half of this season, he was rehabbing when the Blue Jays actually made the trade for him.
No. There you go.
He's been a very good pitcher for a long time. And he has always had the ability to win games. Not overpowering by any means. I mean, he is truly a pitcher. Understands who he is. Knows how to diffuse the bats.
No. 3-1.
He's falling behind Edman, 3-1.
No, new ball.
Shane Bieber is 66 and 34 for his career over 8 years. I mean, he's a winner.
No.
And that's called high, so it's ball 4, the 3rd walk he has given up tonight. And that'll extend the inning and get Kike Hernandez to the plate.
Now, each time you walk somebody in this Dodger lineup, you get closer to Shohei Ohtani. Especially when you're down in the order.
Hernandez had a sac fly in the 2nd.
No.
It also elevates Bieber's pitch count, and the Blue Jays should have a number of relievers available in spite of what happened last night. But the deeper into the game that Bieber can get, the better.
Yeah, the Blue Jays used 8 relievers in that game. I think Chris Bassett's going to have a role in this game tonight. He pitched an inning, only threw 8 pitches, and he has really pitched well coming out of the bullpen in this postseason.
In the air, right center. It is hanging up and will be caught by Barger. And that's that for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the 4th. Bieber pitches around that walk, and the Blue Jays still have the lead.
Sweet.
Spicy. Spicy.
Ah, it's the sauce.
The Batter's Box is back. 6 pieces of signature chicken, medium taters, medium gravy, and 2 biscuits. Get it with Jose's new sweet habanero sauce for $22.99. Only at Mary Brown's Chicken.
Crave delicious, crave Canadian.
I just want to make sure I understand these fees.
Well, you got ATM, wire fees, overdraft, underdraft, and have it back in inbound, outbound, direct deposit, withdrawal, low balance, no balance, administrative fees.
What's a fee?
Then there's lost car, new car, admin, bill pay, monthly maintenance, and have it back in here, notary fee, money order, bank draft, overuse, underuse, currency conversion fees.
Okay.
And there's out-of-network underwriting and have it back on paperwork, chargeback, record keeping, retainer, and have it back on here now, early payoff, paper check, guaranteed.
Welcome back. Joined now by Caleb Joseph. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a franchise record 7th career postseason home run. What stood out to you about that one?
Yeah, hitting the high breaking ball can present some challenges at times because the tendency is to see it up. You want to really go out there and get it. You can catch it on the upswing out in front, and it's an easy pitch to roll over. But what Vladdy does, he makes a really tight turn, keeps that back right elbow super tight to the body. That flattens the barrel out, and man, he absolutely puts it into orbit. As soon as he hit that ball, Hazel, he looked into his dugouts trying to fire them up. I guarantee he fired up those fans at the Rogers Center.
Guerrero with 7 postseason home runs, Dan. Just 5 strikeouts. Now, in comparison, Shohei Ohtani, 8 playoff homers and 20 strikeouts. So Vladdy with just an elite ability with the bat-to-ball skills, guys.
No question about it. Hitting for average, not striking out, rarely swinging and missing, although Ohtani got him tonight. Hitting for power, big hits at big moments. A 2-run home run tonight to give the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead back in the 3rd. They still enjoy that slender 1-run lead here going to the top of the 5th.
That home run was his first extra base hit of this World Series. And as we heard earlier, he was born ready.
No.
So we got a built for this in Trey Yesavage and a born ready in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And speaking of Yesavage, he has been confirmed as the Game 5 starter tomorrow night. It'll be a rematch of Game 1, Blake Snell and Trey Yesavage.
Trey didn't have a split finger pitch at all in that start against the Dodgers. I'm anxious to see him pitch in Game 5. And I know he's chomping at the bit.
2-0 on Andres Jimenez. On the corner, 2-1.
Borderline pitch, just caught the outside corner. That's that cutter. He hasn't thrown many splitters at all tonight.
Got a fastball by him, 2-2.
Boy, good run on that fastball that started out over the inner part of the plate, just rode inside and really overmatched Jimenez with that running fastball.
Strikes him out. That is now 4 consecutive strikeouts for Ohtani.
Boy, he's got a very effective arsenal of pitches. That last pitch was a slider. He gets on top of it, and you can see how he gets that downward break on that breaking ball. With 2 strikes, that's a tough pitch to lay off of. The spin is so tight, you don't see the rotation of the slider, and you swing at it as if it were a fastball.
And a curveball catches the top of the zone. 0-1 on Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who grounded out his first time up. Out in front, 0-2.
One thing that has changed in this era of baseball is that pitchers will throw curveballs up in the zone. They'll throw 2-seamers up in the zone. It's something that never used to happen. You throw a high curveball, that was a mistake. Now it's an effective pitch.
In the air to left center, but it's playable for Kike Hernandez on the second out.
Rogers, proud owner of Canada's team. Let's bring it home.
The 2 biggest home runs in franchise history, Carter, Springer?
Yeah, oh, no question. George Springer, that home run in Game 7, and then Joe Carter, the home run in Game 6 in the '93 World Series, the game winner.
I tell you what, I'm open to adding another one onto the podium if somebody else wants to do something dramatic in the next few days.
Absolutely. We got plenty of time for one of those.
Yep.
No.
2-0 on Nathan Lucas, who was 1 for 2, singled and scored on the Guerrero home run in the third.
He really understands his role hitting ahead of Vladdy. He said, my role is to get on base for Vladdy. However I can do that. He said, when I get on base for Vladdy, that puts so much pressure on the pitcher. You don't have the luxury of pitching around him and hoping to get him to chase.
Just a good all-round ball player.
He's a ball player. There's no question about it.
And he's got a base hit into left center. Cut off out there by Pages. Second hit of the night for Lucas, and he does indeed get Guerrero to the plate.
First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Kind of a mixed reaction. Fans around the sport really like Vladdy. I mean, his likability comes across when you watch the games on TV, but the more he starts hitting the team that whoever the fans are supporting, the more some of the cheers turn to boos.
Yeah, I think he had a pretty good pitch to hit right there, but cut on and missed it. 99, right over the heart of the plate.
So he's now 4 for 10 with 2 homers in his career against Ohtani.
Ball in.
It's a lot of talent in that shot right there, isn't it?
Unbelievable. This, to me, is the finest head-to-head matchup in all of the sports. Great pitcher against great hitter. One-on-one.
Ohtani ahead 1-2. And lined into center field, carrying out to Pages as the side is retired. 2-1 Blue Jays going bottom 5.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
Search spy movies.
Rogers Xfinity is here with the next generation of streaming. Now Keanu can spend more time watching all his TV.
Yes! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on!
All his streams.
What? You're so cute.
Even the shows Keanu can't help but love.
My list.
The best entertainment experience is here with Rogers Xfinity.
Hey, hey, hey. What you got to say? Say hey, hey, hey.
You about us. We got now.
Wouldn't life be great if you didn't have to wait to upsize for your dream retirement? Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
It's Miller time. When the clock seems to slow down. And to appreciate it, Miller Lite's got great taste in all 90 calories. It's Miller time.
Hungry for the win? Or just hungry? Rippled and batch fried. It's game over with PC Kettle cooked potato chips.
Coming out to see baseball games here in Los Angeles. This is the World Series, and this is Hollywood after all. The Blue Jays up 2-1, going to the bottom of the 5th. On the right, Brad Pitt. He's a regular side at big games, and on the left, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Number 44,
Harry and Meghan are here watching some baseball as well. Got their Dodger caps on.
This is the who's who of baseball. Mary Hart is a fixture right behind the home plate at Capital One sign. She's been here for years.
2-1 Blue Jays going bottom 5 with number 9 hitter Andy Pages leading it off against Shane Bieber. Ohtani and Betts to follow.
Now
2-0 on Pages. And John Schneider has activated the bullpen. Louis Varland just got up about a minute ago.
Marlin got 4 outs in the game last night and threw 20 pitches. And he has been the workhorse for John Schneider in the bullpen in the postseason. He has pitched a ton, and he is always anxious to take the baseball. Whatever you need, Skip, I'm there for you.
It's interesting because one lefty, Mason Fluharty, gave up hits to both Ohtani and Freeman last night. Another one, Brendan Little, took the loss at the end of the game and threw a lot of pitches. And Eric Lauer definitely is unavailable tonight through 68 pitches. So it might not be left on left with that part of the lineup like it has been so far here in this series.
Yeah, man, Sir Anthony Dominguez, he gave up the second home run to Ohtani. He threw an inning but threw 27 pitches. So he's going to be borderline.
Popped up by Pages into shallow right. And in comes Barger for out number 1. And here comes Ohtani for the 3rd time. Walked in the 1st, and Bieber struck him out swinging in the 3rd.
Now, when you look at Shane Bieber, the way he has handled Ohtani, he's done pretty good against Ohtani, mixing his pitches very effectively.
2 for 14, 7 strikeouts, including tonight. And ouch.
Yeah.
Ohtani with a big swing on the first pitch. That ball bounced off the dirt and hit him on the left shin.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
John Tompain telling him to take his time. Nobody has come out of the Dodger dugout to have a look at him as Ohtani now steps back in. Interesting how he lays his bat down every time across the plate to make sure his left foot is exactly where he wants it to be in the box.
Now, his success is not an accident. He is so meticulous in his preparation. Good pitch. 92 upstairs, and that tied him up. As for time again, checking the bat, whether or not he may have broken it.
You want timeout or you think it's broken? You think it's broken?
Yeah, you heard John Tempeh said, you want timeout or is your bat broken? And he's going to admit, hey, my bat's broken. Whether it is or not is a question.
But if it's because of an allegedly broken bat, then he's not charged with a timeout.
Right.
Bo Bichette in the lineup tonight for the Blue Jays, DHing. He is going to lead off the top of the 6th.
Let me hear you, Los Angeles!
And Shane Bieber having a good night so far against the Dodgers through 4 1/3. The 0-2. Strike 3 called. He strikes out Ohtani again.
They walked him in the first inning and then got him swinging to go down on strikes in the 3rd, and now he locks him up. He hits that outside corner with another very good breaking ball right on the outside edge. That knuckle curveball has been very good for him early in this game.
Third strikeout tonight for Bieber, and 2 of the 3 have been Ohtani.
He is human.
He is human. Line to center. Varsho hardly has to move. And those are 3 big outs for Shane Bieber. The Blue Jays still lead.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
As Canada faces economic uncertainty, we have a plan to secure our future, and it starts in the Ring of Fire, an area in Northern Ontario rich with critical minerals, the ones needed to build medical devices. We can create more than 70,000 jobs across the province by unearthing these minerals and add $22 billion to Ontario's economy. That's how we protect Ontario, made from the Ring of Fire.
Attention Canadian Tire team! This fall, we've got over 1,000 deals each week.
Y'all ready for this?
Up to 40% off select portable power tools and accessories. Up to 40% off select cookware. And up to 30% off select vacuums and floor care.
Looks like we're ready for some deals. Are you? Discover this week's deals online or in the flyer.
The new DQ Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger is piled high with Applewood smoked bacon. Bacon, bacon, and bacon. Try our new Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger in a single, double, or triple. Single starting at just $6.99.
Every Blue Jays fan knows the iconic sound of the home run horn, and it may be closer than you think. Keep an eye out for the Blue Jays World Series home run horn truck around the city on game days. Don't miss out on giveaways, activations, and of course, the exciting sound of the home run horn. And don't forget that the World Series 50-50 jackpot from Jays Care, it's well over $4 million. It is climbing by the minute. And don't forget that Blue Jay World Series legend Joe Carter will be calling the winner. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/5050 from anywhere in Ontario or Nova Scotia. Good ball game, 2-1 Blue Jays going top 6. The Blue Jays trying to even up the World Series at 2 wins apiece, and that would also ensure that the series is heading back to the Rogers Center. I like the sound of that. You were, as I said, heading back. You pointed like just you're pointing to Toronto. You just pointed.
I
like
pointed to
you
Toronto.
Pointed to Toronto.
Yes, I did. I'm back east.
Yep. I think just about everybody watching wants the series to get back to Toronto. A couple of strikes on Bo Bichette. A walk and a ground out for Bichette tonight.
No. 1-2.
He'll be followed by Barger and Kirk.
Both these pitchers have been outstanding. They've mixed their pitches very effectively, and they're almost matching each other pitch for pitch.
Do the Blue Jays have a chance to make this the last inning for Ohtani? Even if they don't score off him, if they get him up into the 90s this inning, this could be it.
Yeah, it sure could be, and they're very careful with him, obviously. He's such an important part of their franchise. We mentioned he threw 91 pitches in his final regular season start. He has made 2 postseason starts, and the pitch count is always a concern for him because of his history. Has 2 Tommy John surgeries already.
1-2 again.
No.
Big breaking curveball that misses outside. 2-2.
Ohtani threw 100 pitches exactly in his 6 innings of work against Milwaukee in the championship series. 6 innings, 2 hits.
Bichette with a high fly to left. Drifting back, Kike Hernandez, and he's got room for out number 1. And now it's Chris Bassett up in the bullpen. He pitched last night, but again has said every day he'll do whatever they need him to do. And don't know if he's coming in or if he is now just next man up if they need somebody for Bieber. But you had a hunch all day, really, that Chris Bassitt could be a very big part of this game.
Yeah, I sure did. I think because he's embraced this role coming out of the pen and pitched so well as a relief pitcher in this series and in postseason in general. I think he's going to be an important member of this bullpen.
A one-hopper back to the mound. Ohtani to play, and Barger retired for the second out.
I mean, both managers are really thinking ahead now. Okay, I've got this pitcher available. I got that pitcher available for this pocket.
You can turn it off.
Bob Guerin next to the manager. Pete Walker next to John Snyder.
So we know they've got Bassitt. We know they've got Varland. We got to believe they've got Braden Fisher. And even though Jeff Hoffman went 2 innings, recent history suggests he's got 3 outs in him tonight.
He told me he's ready. I spoke to him before this game. He said, of course I'm ready. It's the World Series, man.
Mason Fluharty should also be available tonight.
No.
The Dodgers may have similar issues, obviously. I mean, both teams use their bullpen a ton. The Blue Jays 12 2/3. The Dodgers 13 1/3.
No.
The Dodgers used 10 relief pitchers, but Anthony Banda only threw 3 pitches in the third of an inning. Will Klein, he's done. He threw 72 pitches in an outstanding relief man. Blake Trinan is hot. I think Sasaki's even hot. He threw 29 pitches in an inning and 2/3, but given the magnitude of this game, I think he's in play as well. Jack Dreyer is certainly in play, another left-hander.
Foul back, and it's 2-2 on Kirk.
You know, that's the job of the pitching coach prior to the start of this game. Go around, check on your relievers, see how they feel after they play catch. What you got? How much you got? I got a hitter. I got a batter. I'll give you an inning.
Ohtani gets Kirk for the second time tonight and retires the side in order here in the top of the 6th. 3-4-5 coming up for the Dodgers.
There are millions of square kilometers without coverage across Canada. Places where it's hard to reach 911 or just check in. Introducing Rogers Satellite, a new satellite-to-mobile texting service that connects your phone in areas without cell service, so you can connect here, here, or even here. And now anyone on any provider can try it for free. Rogers Satellite. The sky's the limit.
The future of Ontario's economy is right here at home. As Canada faces economic uncertainty, we have a plan to secure our future, and it starts in the Ring of Fire, an area in Northern Ontario rich with critical minerals, the ones needed to build medical devices, phones, and essential technology the world depends on. We can create more than 70,000 jobs across the province by unearthing these minerals and add $22 billion to Ontario's economy, helping fund new schools, hospitals, and the public services we all depend on. As we do, we're working in true partnership with First Nations for economic growth and investment in Indigenous communities. We're putting our resources to work to build a more resilient future. That's how we protect Ontario, made from the Ring of Fire.
What if a tool wasn't built for a job, but for every job? We ask what if, so there's no question what you can do. Now get 0% APR and a $1,000 rebate on this Ford F-150.
Well, the Maple Leafs fresh off a win over the Flames tonight head to Columbus tomorrow to take on the Blue Jackets. It is Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Of course, we will be with you on Sportsnet Game 5 of the World Series. Right now, Shane Bieber is doing everything he can to try to knot this series up at 2 wins apiece. He has been very, very good tonight.
Boy, he has. And you know what he's done? He's come out and gotten all of his pitches into the zone. He's mixed them very effectively. And for me, the curveball and the changeup have been key to his success so far in this ballgame. He's held the Dodgers to a run on 2 hits through 5 innings.
He's got a tough part of the order here. He got Ohtani in beds for the last 2 outs of the 5th. But now he's got Freeman, Smith, and Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez, here in the 6th. Freeman 1 for 2. 0-1.
Now, Shane Bieber pitched 6 innings against the Mariners in Game 3 in that championship series. Right back. 2 good pitches right on the inside corner.
No.
1-2 on Freeman.
You see his pitch count at 78. He's in good shape through 88 in that 6-inning outing against Seattle.
Bassett has been joined by Mason Fluharty. Fluharty likely up for Max Muncy, who would be due up 4th this inning. Bassett could be up for anybody for any length of time in any situation, according to John Schneider. And of course Bassett, he's willing to do anything. That'll get under the glove of Guerrero, and it'll be a base hit for Freeman to start the bottom of the 6th.
Sharply hit. Vladdy got to it, knocked it down. At least he knocked it down and slowed it so it doesn't go down into the right field corner. He got a piece of it with his glove, and that ball was headed to the corner if it gets past Vladdy cleanly. But he got a piece of it to knock it down. You can see it just goes off the heel of his first baseman's glove. So Freddie Freeman's got 2 of the 3 hits.
Here's Will Smith, 0 for 2. Bieber looking for a ground ball. Instead, it's a line drive, but caught by a sliding Varsho in center for out number 1.
I don't know that there's anybody in baseball that gets a better jump off the bat than Dalton Varsho. He really broke quickly, and here's John Schneider. He's not hesitating. He popped out of the mound, and he is walking. This is generally when he makes a pitching change, when he's walking very deliberate to the mound.
We haven't seen a signal yet from Schneider. And he's having a conversation right now with Bieber, sizing up the situation with Teoscar Hernandez due up.
It's interesting. Wants to hear from the veteran how he feels.
Bieber has dominated Teoscar in their respective careers, and Schneider will leave Bieber in the game.
Good for John. Going out there and checking with a veteran pitcher, saying, how you feel? I got this guy, man. It's not quite as animated as a Max Scherzer, John Schneider meeting, but it was very effective.
Scherzer, the starter for the Blue Jays in last night's game, and potentially lined up to start Game 7 if it goes the distance. 1 on, 1 out, 1-run game here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's a base hit. Just beyond the reach of Kiner Falefa. Freeman up to 2nd.
Well, now John's got another decision, checking on Mason Fluharty, see if he's ready for Max Muncy. Getting the word from Pete Walker. Is he ready? Good.
And here it comes. There will be no discussion the second time around. Got to take him out. And John Schneider will go to the bullpen. So Shane Bieber, very, very good tonight. Goes 5 1/3. And Mason Fluharty is coming on to deal with the left-hand hitting Max Muncy. The Dodgers threatening here in the bottom of the 6th. Shane Bieber has given this team a chance to win.
You know where the Blue Jays are from. But pride doesn't stop at city limits. It goes beyond. Finding home in a whole nation. Because home isn't just a point on a map. It's a feeling in our hearts. And right now, we can feel it from coast to coast to coast. Now that we've made it this far, it's time to bring it home.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything. in the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. Get 0% financing on all remaining 2025 GMC models, including 0% on all 2025 Sierra 1500 crew cabs today.
Sonic, to me, in one word, I would choose success because I succeeded using it. I've tried to quit smoking over 10 to 15 times, and then I stumbled across Sonic, so I gave that a whirl, and I've been using them ever since. My wife looks at me today like I can do anything, and I'm a superstar for quitting smoking once and for all.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is highly addictive, only to be used by adults who are trying to quit smoking.
Hit.
Shane Bieber, a very good night for the Blue Jays. Justin Bieber with the musical accompaniment. Bieber now out of the game with 2 on, 1 out of the 6th inning. The Blue Jays up by 1, and John Schneider has gone to lefty Mason Fluharty against a left-handed hitter in Max Muncy, who hit only 157 against left-handed pitching during the regular season.
You see, Fluharty held the lefties to a 182 average. This is his 9th postseason appearance. He's given up a few more hits in the postseason than he averaged during the regular season. 8 hits in 5 1/3. Big at bat here for Fluharty.
In the air, left center. Varsho is there and makes the catch, and that is out number 2.
Well, great first pitch, and I love that. Coming out of the bullpen, relievers, they need to throw first pitch strikes. You don't want to give the hitters any information more than you have to. So be aggressive, and he was able to get Muncy on 1 pitch.
Now it'll be the switch-hitting second baseman, Tommy Edman.
How about those two? They're like brothers.
They are.
Riley and Teo played a lot together with the Blue Jays. Lived close to each other in the Tampa Bay area, and now they're playing against each other in the World Series.
Edman, who's singled and walked, turns around to bat from the right side. His numbers not much different, lefty-righty during the regular season. More power from the right side, a bit of a lower average. And Fluharty quickly out in front, 0-2, much to the delight of Shane Bieber.
3 pitches, 3 strikes.
A look back at Freeman, the lead runner out at second. He got him. What a great pitch from Fluharty, and what a big couple of outs that young man just got. With a couple of men on in the bottom of the 6th for the Dodgers, Mason Fluharty and the Blue Jays still have the lead.
It's a special team, folks, and everybody's standing here at Rogers Center.
This is it.
This is a season to remember.
We've done it before.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
And we can do it again.
She's gone! Unbelievable. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series.
This is our time.
FanDuel Casino presents Halloween. Trick and get treated with countless ways to play. Explore new and exciting games, including NHL Collectum. And all your favorite casino classics, like slots, table games, and arcade games. Plus, dial up the excitement with even more jackpots. Celebrate Halloween on FanDuel Casino.
The mess never stops. Whenever stains strike, I strike back. So I stay alert, ready to safely remove them the first time. OxyClean, a force against stains.
It's Miller time. When the clock seems to slow down.
And to appreciate it, Miller Lite's got great taste in all 90 calories. It's Miller time.
Welcome back. Back here with Caleb Joseph. Shohei Ohtani last night reached base safely 9 times. Tonight struck out against Shane Bieber twice. How'd he do it?
We talk so often about forcing hitters to really respect certain parts of the zone with certain pitches. It's exactly what Bieber did to Ohtani, forcing him to respect that up and in part of the zone. He tied him up a couple times, and then he was able to use that soft and away stuff. If Bassett comes in to face Ohtani, look for a similar repertoire for what he was able to do. Bieber, that is. He was able to locate inside. So now if Varland comes in, he can use velocity away because he hasn't seen a steady dose of it. That's old school pitching, old school sequencing at its best.
Shane Bieber ends Shohei Ohtani's World Series record on base streak at 11 consecutive plate appearances. Dan.
Hazel, Caleb, thank you. A terrific outing by Bieber, giving the Blue Jays everything they could have asked for against this potent Dodger lineup here tonight. The Blue Jays, despite being undermanned, no George Springer tonight, they are leading the Dodgers 2-1. Bieber and Fluharty liking each other's work here in this game. The 2 runs for the Blue Jays coming on the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. home run in the 3rd. Here's Dalton Varsho, and that's going to drop in right field. A leadoff base hit for Varsho here in the 7th.
Timeout.
Ohtani up to 91 pitches. We mentioned he threw 100 pitches in his last start against Milwaukee. Anthony Banda pitched last night, but he only threw 3 pitches, getting out on 3 pitches. So he's first up tonight for LA.
And we'll see when Dave Roberts decides to bring him into the game. First, Ohtani to face Ernie Clement.
No.
Well, Clement was given a hit and run twice in the game last night. This is another great combination for Clement with Varsho at first. Ernie can put the bat on the ball and got a big gapping hole on the right side of the infield.
Well hit ball, left center field, and it's going to split the outfielders and be off the wall. Varsho is going to be held. A double for Clement, and the Blue Jays are in business here in the top of the 7th.
Boy, what a job by Ernie jumping on that hitter and splitting the outfielders. He hit it halfway up the wall in left field. Varsho was thinking about scoring, but you don't risk it with nobody out. Ernie got to that down and in fastball, then drilled it all the way to the gap in left field. It's halfway up the wall in left field. Varsho's thinking about scoring, but he gets the stop sign because there are no outs in this game, and Ohtani is going to be lifted.
So Varsho and Clement will knock Ohtani out of the game here in the 7th inning and give the Blue Jays a great opportunity to extend their lead here top 7.
These dishes just aren't getting clean.
Problem isn't your machine. It's likely your detergent. I recommend switching to Cascade Platinum Plus. These new pods have the grease-fighting power of Dawn, easily removing up to 100% of tough stuck-on foods. Love it or your money back.
Attention Canadian Tire team. This fall, we've got over 1,000 deals each week.
Y'all ready for this?
Up to 40% off select portable power tools and accessories. Up to 40% off select cookware. And up to 30% off select vacuums and floor care.
Looks like we're ready for some deals. Are you? Discover this week's deals online or in the flyer.
The new DQ Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger is piled high with Applewood smoked bacon. Bacon, bacon, and bacon. Try our new Loaded Bacon Signature Stack Burger in a single, double, or triple. Single starting at just $6.99.
So the Blue Jays are into the Dodger bullpen here in the top of the 7th. They're up 2-1. They've got runners at second and third, nobody out. And left-hander Anthony Banda is into the game.
Yeah, Banda's pitching the 3rd time in this World Series. He gave up the grand slam to Barger back in game 1 and retired. The only batter he faced last night, he got Varsho to pop out. The only batter he faced, took him 3 pitches, and now he's got to deal with Andre Jimenez. Nobody out. 2nd and 3rd for the Blue Jays. Chance to add on to their lead here.
And if people are saying, hey, pinch hit, there's no way they're going to pinch hit for 2 reasons. He's their best defender, and he is their shortstop. And John Schneider in these situations values contact. Get that runner in from 3rd, and he has faith in Andres Jimenez to put the ball in play. A couple of good base runners on. Good speed for Varsho and Clement. And a swing and a miss by Jimenez, 0-1.
Remember, in a similar situation, he's really focused now. The infield is drawn in. He's got to make sure he gets the ball up against Banda. He's probably going to have to hit a breaking ball.
No.
Jimenez has had some big moments in the postseason for the Blue Jays. Has hit a couple of home runs, and he has driven in 10 runs in the playoffs coming into this game tonight.
12 hits, 10 RBIs.
But now he's got a battle. It's 1-2. Ty France has a helmet in hand. 3rd batter for the Blue Jays, a lefty, and Lucas. We'll see if maybe that's what it's for. May depend on what happens between now and then.
No. Good take. He laid out that breaking ball. Now it's 2-2.
Got to cash in and extend this lead. And this one will bounce in the dirt. Smith scampers after it. He did a good job keeping that from getting by him, which likely would have produced a run.
Absolutely. He didn't have a chance to shift his body in front of that breaking ball. He just swipes at it with his catcher's mitt, and he's able to get a piece of it. Then it goes off his mask and stays out in front of home, so Varsho has to hold at 3rd.
Infield in. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and a full count on Jimenez.
Timeout! Timeout!
Jimenez will use his timeout.
Here we go.
The 3-2. Fouled back.
Then came at him with the fastball. I'm a little surprised he did that. I thought he'd throw him a breaking ball. He's got to have the confidence in Will Smith. If he throws a breaking ball and bounces it, he walks him, but that's okay. But I'm surprised he gave him a fastball in that pitch right there.
3-2 again. And he fights it off.
That's the breaking ball. I thought he'd go to that on the first 3-2 pitch.
This is why, one of the reasons Schneider will leave Jimenez in this situation. Again, trusting him to make contact, trusting him to get a ball to the outfield, to get a run home. Not easy left on left. But he does it. He lines it softly into left for a base hit. That'll chase Varsho home. It's an RBI single for Jimenez, and it's 3-1.
What a postseason Andres has had. Another huge hit. His third 3-2 pitch of the at-bat, and he strokes it into left. Varsho got it started. That's 3 straight hits for the Blue Jays in this inning. Another breaking ball, and look at the focus. He stays on it, extends that bat out over the zone. It may have been off the plate away, but he slaps it into left field in front of Kike Hernandez, and Varsho's going to come in to score. Bottom of the order again, doing their thing.
A 2-run game now, and here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Thinking safety squeeze. He takes ball 1.
And you can see what the defense is doing now. Freeman is charging Edman is going to first base, so there's a big hole right at second base. If you can square around and punch it right where Edman is right now, you're probably going to end up with a run and maybe a base hit.
No.
It's 2-0. So Kiner-Falefa trying to give himself up, trying to get it down and chase Clement home from third.
Here we go.
But Abando's falling behind. Let's see if the game plan changes now at 2-0.
No.
3-0. And now, no matter what, got to take a pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And the infield is really interesting. It's halfway. It's not all the way in at the edge. It's halfway. If there's a ball hit up the middle, they may turn two and give the Blue Jays another run this inning.
He's swinging at 3-0, and he fouls it off.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. He understands who he is as a hitter. He got a fastball and was just a little bit late. He knows he's got to keep it off the ground, get it into the outfield.
Clement the lead off third, Jimenez off first. And a throw to first, and they may have just been trying to see what Kiner-Falefa was thinking about.
And you know, Max Muncy was in on it too, because he broke toward home as if he was expecting a bunt. And they were just trying to see what the Blue Jays were up to.
Line to third, and it's a double play. Jimenez cannot get back in time.
That's about the third time the Blue Jays have been caught on those line drive double plays. Kiner-Falefa got doubled off in Seattle, and they have just had some poor base running in those situations.
Are the Blue Jays challenging?
You see Muncy alertly looks across the diamond and fires to Freddie Freeman.
Call at first base.
Jimenez kind of slipped when he was trying to get back. He lost his footing a bit, and that cost him.
The Blue Jays are challenging the out call at first.
Boy, that's tough. That is close. But he lost his footing. He understood what he was trying to do, get back, but when he turned to go back to first base, he slipped a little bit, and that delayed his return to the bag.
You can see Bondo looking on, Jimenez looking on. It's another bang-bang play. Hand is on the base there, and the ball is not.
Look at the base. The base has been pushed up by his contact. That should be overturned. You could see when he hit the base kind of pushed up in the air, and the ball was still not in Freddie Freeman's first baseman's glove.
I think you're a little more optimistic than I am that this is going to be overturned. I agree with everything you say, but we have seen calls like this not get overturned because back in the replay command center in New York, they must have what is in their mind definitive evidence to overturn the call. Is the hand on the base? You saw that still shot when the ball was still just a little bit out of the glove. You can see Ty France is on deck for Nathan Lucas. I'm getting a little more optimistic, but I'm still not as optimistic as you are.
Watch, the hand pushes the base up right there, and the ball is not in his mitt.
Is the hand on the base or is the hand on his cleat? Is it on Freeman's shoe? You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. Here we go.
After review, the ball in the field is overturned. The runner is safe.
There you go. Your optimism is a good thing.
Yes, sir. And Andres, he hustled back there. He knew what the play was, but he made it closer than he wanted to.
That is big. Instead of a runner at third and 2 outs, it'll be first and third, 1 out. A much better situation for the Blue Jays. And John Schneider has sent Ty France to the plate to pinch hit for Nathan Lucas. Getting a right-handed bat up there against the lefty Bondo.
Who are you hitting for?
Who are you hitting for? Lucas. And with that, Mark Pryor, the pitching coach, comes out to talk to Banda about the pinch hitter Ty France. He has to face France because this is the third batter since he came into the game. He entered the game to face Andres Gimenez, who got a single and an RBI. Then he got kind of left of the line out to the third baseman, and now he's got to deal with the pinch hitter.
When you're a guy like France, your opportunities may be few and far between. Kind of an extra guy on the roster, just added to the roster for this round. Can he get something into the air to the outfield to bring home another run? 0-1.
Time out. Yep.
France has faced him 3 times in the past. He's got 2 hits against Banda.
Clement at third, Gimenez at first. And a little chopper to the right side. This will get a run home. France is out, but it's an RBI ground out to bring in Clement and make it 4-1.
Contact is a beautiful thing. He didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot. The Dodgers had no chance to turn 2, and they manufacture another run. A great pitch hitting appearance by Ty France. Put the bat on the ball. Good things can happen.
And that is going to be all for Anthony Banda. The Blue Jays with 2 huge runs here, top 7. Dave Roberts has signaled to the bullpen for veteran right-hander Blake Treinen to come in to face Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Okay, how about we write a scary movie? Ooh, spooky. A scary Canadian movie. Ooh, we can get government funding. A hockey team. Snowed in at a chalet. No power, no food, and there's a slasher on the loose. This doesn't make any sense. Why? Because Skip is Canadian, so Canadians could just skip it. Hey.
Tried all the drugstore conditioners and still can't find the one? You belong on the inside. Every Beauty Insider receives personalized recommendations, gifts, and more. Become a Sephora Beauty Insider for free today.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. First, peel on pack, then peel in app for another chance to win. With millions of prizes to be won, it's time to peel like a winner with Monopoly Double Play.
Marion has always enjoyed a cozy movie night in. Her husband, however, finds these nights a little uncomfortable. Thankfully, Leon's offers interest-free financing, so you can feel the comfort without feeling cramped. You do you, Marion.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge. Better oil for maximum performance.
So let's clear up something that I didn't see in live time. This is Dave Roberts. That's an intentional walk to Guerrero right before he came out of the dugout to make the pitching change. So that goes on Banda's record. They intentionally walk Guerrero, so it's runners at first and second, 2 down. And now Blake Treinen is in to face Bo Bichette.
That Treinen pitched in the game last night. He recorded it just 1 out and threw 15 pitches, so he is good to go tonight. Regular season, he's been hampered by injuries. In the postseason, he's pitched a total of 4 innings, given up 8 hits. He's been hit around a little bit.
And here comes Bichette, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Varsho and Clement and Gimenez with big hits in this inning. Then France drives in another run with a ground out. And it is now 4-1 Blue Jays, top 7. As Bichette looks at the strike. Bichette lines the ball deep left field over the head of Hernandez. misses it off the wall. Here comes Jimenez. Guerrero will be held at third. Bo unable to run full speed. It's a long single for him, but it's a big one. It drives in another run to make it 5-1.
The third run of the inning and another extended inning started by the bottom of the order. Varsho, Clement, Jimenez all with base hits. And tries to get the breaking ball inside, and he leaves it on the inner half of the plate, and Bo smokes it over the head of Kike Hernandez into left field. Jimenez comes in to score. Bo stops at first and still runners at the corners with 2 outs.
For Addison Barger, 1 for 3, had an infield hit in the first. Ground ball, base hit. And Guerrero is home. It is 6-1.
Well, this was the concern the Dodgers had in this 3-game series here in L.A., the bullpen. And the Blue Jays have jumped on the bullpen here tonight. 4 runs again in this inning. Addison Barger stays on this pitch that was away from him and slaps it past Mookie Betts. Pitches down and away, and he hits it on the ground. Betts can't make a play, and Vladdy comes in to score. It is 6-1.
A huge 7th inning here for the Blue Jays to extend the lead to 5. And here's Alejandro Kirk.
No.
Kirk is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts tonight after a big game last night. Remember, Bichette is the runner at second.
Time out! Time out!
As Andres Jimenez getting a little work done on his right hand. Your typical base hit would probably not be enough to score Bichette. He is just not healthy enough to run well enough to try it. It would probably have to be something where an outfielder's got to go laterally a fair bit to go get it.
No.
2-0.
And remember, Bo is the DH with no George Springer available tonight. So you certainly want to keep his bat in the game, and they've already scored 4 runs this inning.
Two and one.
Well, how many times have we seen in this postseason where the Blue Jays have extended innings, sending multiple hitters to the plate, putting pressure on the opposing team, and another 4-run inning for them here in this postseason.
Taken for a strike, 2-2. Chris Bassett looks like he's coming in bottom half. Line drive to right and right at Teoscar Hernandez. But the Blue Jays score 4 big runs here in the top of the 7th at Dodger Stadium. And a couple of guys who have been a huge part of this franchise for a number of years in the middle of it. It is 6-1 Blue Jays.
Introducing Rogers Xfinity with internet that handles it all.
Awesome. I'll be right back.
Built for more devices.
Okay. What if I crash through the window?
That's genius. Let's do that.
Excellent.
Let the art come from within.
From within.
So Keanu can do everything.
You're so done, bro.
Well, almost everything.
Why don't you stick to acting, Uncle Keanu?
Let's go.
Rogers Xfinity is here on Canada's most reliable internet.
Chevrolet believes the truck should be as capable as they are dependable. Like the rugged Colorado and the highly capable Silverado 1500, the powerful Silverado HD, and the uncompromising Silverado EV. In every Chevrolet truck, dependability comes standard. Right now, get 0% financing on all remaining 2025 Chevrolet trucks on limited terms. Hurry now. Offer ends soon. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
We are almost done here, Mr. Springer. If you could just sign the bottom. Great. Here as well.
What's this?
It's just for practice signatures, you know.
Okay.
One more here. Just like one more.
Why would I sign an empty picture frame?
No reason?
I heard a rumor Marshy brings his teddy bear to every game.
One for you, one for me. Okay, you can have some more.
New NHL hockey cards have arrived at Tim's with rare finds and exclusive prizes.
So the Blue Jays extend the lead to 6-1. Guerrero was intentionally walked and eventually came in on the Barger base hit. Does he just know he is scoring easily, or has he got a little hitch in his giddy-up?
Yeah, he's a little gimpy right now. You can see he's just kind of jogging back toward the dugout, and there's something going on with him, but hopefully it's nothing major.
I mean, they've already got Bichette playing, obviously, at less than 100%. They're doing this without George Springer tonight. Somehow they are getting it done and hanging around with the Dodgers here in the World Series. Here's Chris Bassitt embracing his postseason role, coming out of the bullpen under any set of circumstances, and he has been outstanding. Not only has not been scored upon in 4 2/3, Buck, he has not given up a hit.
Yeah, he has really embraced this opportunity, and he's always said, whatever it takes for this team to win a World Series, I'm in.
Swinging a foul back by Kike Hernandez. It's 0-1.
I love this move by John Snyder. Bottom of the 7th inning. Bring in Bassitt. He can give you a couple of innings, and now you've got a 5-run cushion, so he's got a lot of room to work.
Weak ground ball to short. Here comes Jimenez. Got to hurry, and they get him by a step. Now let's take a look at Guerrero coming around third to see if we can spot anything. He got the stop sign at third. Did he roll? Did he roll that left ankle a little bit? Kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything going on there. I think he knew he was going to score on the Barger hit. He just jogged home. Carlos Fabulous moving the infielders, and he has done a great job of setting up the defense. Remember, way back early, Ernie Clement was positioned perfectly to take that line drive off the bat of Mookie Betts. That was in the 3rd inning.
This is Alex Call, who is pinch hitting for Andy Pages. Call, an outfielder they picked up from the Nationals at the deadline. Came into the game in the 13th inning in last night's game and wound up going 1 for 3 in that one. Imagine coming into a game in the 13th inning and getting 3 at bats. That's the kind of night it was last night. The Dodgers just a run on 4 hits. Outstanding job by Shane Bieber. And let us not forget the 2 big outs that Mason Fluharty got.
He threw 4 pitches, and all 4 pitches were strikes.
No. And it was a 1-run game when he was in, and the Dodgers had 2 men on base.
Yeah, he got Max Muncy to pop out on the first pitch and then struck out Tommy Edmonds.
One and 2 the count on Cole. Right on the corner, 2 down.
Well, you talk about a guy that stepped up his game pitching out of the bullpen. You know, Bassitt down with a bat back as a starter down the stretch. He wasn't on the roster early in this postseason, and he paints the outside corner with that 4-seamer. What a delivery.
You know, you got to imagine that Chris was so disappointed that the back thing cropped up at the end of the year. He was left off the roster for the first round, but for them to win, to advance to the LCS, for him to get back on the roster, even though he is not a starting pitcher, he is an important part of this pitching staff clearly here in October.
It's huge. And he remained engaged with the team in New York, even though he wasn't on the active roster. I mean, he and Max Scherzer were both inactive for that first round of the playoffs, and they were right engaged in every game, just like they were all season long. Two
2-0 on Ohtani. And we've mentioned it, but just again, we know we've got a lot of people watching who don't watch every game, just to make sure everybody understands. In this situation, even though Ohtani has left the game as a pitcher, he can still stay in the game as the DH. 2-1 the count. Jammed him, and a weak ground ball to second. And Chris Bassitt has another great inning for the Blue Jays. End of 7 here in Los Angeles, and the Blue Jays are up 6-1, trying to even this series up.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Rogers, proud owner of Canada's team. Let's bring it home.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. First, peel on pack. Then peel in app for another chance to win. With millions of prizes to be won, it's time to peel like a winner with Monopoly Double Play.
You know where the Blue Jays are from. But pride doesn't stop at city limits. It goes beyond. Finding home in a whole nation. Because home isn't just a point on a map. It's a feeling in our hearts. And right now, we can feel it from coast to coast to coast. Now that we've made it this far, it's time to bring it home.
This is a season to remember.
Home Hardware is proud to be the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Back in Los Angeles, I'm Jamie Campbell. Madison, the Blue Jay team that so many people seem to love, revealed itself yet again in the top of that inning.
Just another example of this Blue Jays team getting contributions top to bottom in the order. You've seen some really great swings tonight, whether it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 2-run home run, Andres Jimenez getting a 2-strike sweeper down in a way that he drives out the opposite way. I could go on and on about the intentional swings that we've seen from the Blue Jays tonight.
Mason Fluharty came in twice to this series before tonight, both to face the top of the order. Tonight, John Schneider brings them down low, gets 2 huge outs, keep it a 1-run game, and guess what? Blue Jays respond with 4. Momentum is real.
And there's a large gathering at the Rogers Center, and look at the reaction here as part of that 4-run 7th. Back to Dan and Buck here at Dodger Stadium.
Jamie, thank you very much. 6-1 Blue Jays, top 8. And Buck, you go back to game 1 of this, Blue Jays underdogs coming into the series. Everybody understood that. Blew them out in game 1. Game 2 was tied at 1 at the end of 6. And then the Dodgers pulled away in the last couple of innings. Game 3, obviously anybody's ball game for 6 hours and 39 minutes. Game 4, they are up 6-1. The Blue Jays have been right there, and really for the majority of the 4 games have been the better team. Now they're still down 2-1. I get that, but for them to come in as underdogs and then to lose Springer and to have Bichette not at 100%, those 26 guys deserve all the credit in the world for how they are competing in this series.
Absolutely. They never, ever feel like they're overmatched. No matter what the situation is, no matter who's pitching against them, they all feel it's like they can compete against anyone.
Alex Call is in left field. Kike Hernandez moves to center. Jack Dreyer is on the mound. And Dalton Varsho has popped it up. Muncy, the third baseman, is there to make the play. 1 down.
I mean, just when you think this team is dead in the water, like they were after they lost the first 2 games at home against Seattle, but the team never wavered. John kept saying, normal. Let's be normal. Let's don't panic as a coaching staff or as a manager, and pass along that confidence to the players, and they've been able to do that. And the players responded very well. Won 2 out of 3 in Seattle and won the last 2 games at home against the Mariners.
Every time they get pushed to that spot where you say, well, maybe they can't come back from this, they keep showing that maybe they can. Ernie Clement, a big part of that 4-run 7th, the double to left center that really kind of keyed the whole inning. That made it 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, led to the pitching change, and that's when things got rolling.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the 8th time in this postseason the Blue Jays have scored 4 or more runs in an inning, including that 9-run inning against the Dodgers in game 1.
Didn't go. Ball one.
This is special team. I saw Manny Mota in the hallway before the game, and Manny, of course, a great major leaguer for a long time. He said, boy, the Blue Jays got a lot of ball players. Ball players, that's the word he used.
Just guys who play the game the right way. Run the bases, put the ball in play defense. Not an all or nothing kind of squad at all. Look at Jimmy Garcia looking on. Everybody wishes that Jimmy would have been able to be more a part of this year, but unfortunately injuries got him. He's signed for next year. Hopefully he's back and healthy. Nice stop by Freeman. Dryer's late off the mound, and Clement is safe.
Boy, that's the way the Blue Jays play. Never take anything for granted. Ernie saw the play right in front of him, and the pitcher, a left-hander, fell to the third base side of the mound, and by the time he recovered, Ernie beat him to the bag. Look at the pitcher. He's standing there looking at Freeman before he takes off, and Freddie, he's kind of helpless. He can't do much about it because Ernie is hustling out of the box. Watch the pitcher. He just stands there and there's, oh, I got to get to first. That hesitation cost him a base hit.
A one-out single for Clement. And now here's Andres Jimenez. And he gets hit by a 93-mile-an-hour fastball as he makes his way slowly down to first base.
Remember, he banged up his fingers sliding back into first on that play last inning when he was a base runner at first base, and now he gets hit by a four-seam fastball on his shoulder, and he'll go to first base, and he's had a rough night, but he'll take it. He's had an RBI in this game. He's been on base twice now, scored the 5th run for the Blue Jays in that big inning.
So it's first and second with a one out for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's 0 for 3.
Here we go.
Not close. Ball one.
Now he smoked a line drive off the left-hander Anthony Banda back in the 7th inning in his last time up. Hit it right to the third baseman.
Ground ball to short. Betts only plays to first, and he'll make it to get Kiner-Falefa 2 down as the runners advance. Good play by Mookie Betts. 2 in scoring position with 2 down, and here's Miles Straw getting his first at bat. Came on defensively last half inning. Lucas was pinch hit for by France, and then Straw came into the game defensively, and now Mark Pryor, the pitching coach, is on his way to the mound.
Yeah, it's the first at bat for Straw, so they're going to go out and talk about the plan of attack for the right-handed hitter. Boy, there's a couple of big runs out on the bases. If he could come up with a big hit right now, it certainly would help the Blue Jays in this situation. 4 runs last inning on 5 hits.
Nobody's up in the Blue Jay bullpen, I don't believe, so it looks like Chris Bassitt will come back out for a 2nd inning, and why wouldn't he?
No, he's been outstanding, and he had a very good quick inning, 1, 2, 3 in the 7th.
October is a lot about what have you done for me recently, circle of trust, and all of those things, and Chris Bassitt is checking those boxes.
And given how many pitchers had to pitch for the Jays last night, if he can give them 2, maybe 3 innings, that'd be a real benefit.
Straw takes a strike.
Yeah. Foul.
1-1. Or did he foul it off? I'm sorry. Did he foul that pitch off?
Yeah.
He did. 0-2.
Yeah. The umpire called the foul on his check swing.
Yeah. So a couple of strikes on Straw. The Dodger fans trying to rally a little bit, but they've been a quiet bunch since the top of the 7th. And Straw lifts this one in the air down the right side and out of play.
Yeah, I think baseball fans around the world literally are finding out the Blue Jays are legit. And it's not an accident they're playing the Dodgers in the World Series. They're a good ball club. They have many aspects of winning baseball down pat. They play good baseball, and they never give up. Got a lot of clutch hitters.
Yeah, that might be the most important part.
Never give up.
They never give up. Swing and a miss. Straw strikes out. And it's on to the bottom of the 8th here at Dodger Stadium with the Blue Jays leading 6-1.
There are millions of square kilometers without coverage across Canada. Places where it's hard to reach 911 or just check in. Introducing Rogers Satellite, a new satellite-to-mobile texting service that connects your phone in areas without cell service, so you can connect here, here, or even here. And now anyone on any provider can try it for free. Rogers Satellite. The sky's the limit.
Hungry for the win? Or just hungry? Rippled and batch fried. It's game over with PC Kettle cooked potato chips.
As Canada faces economic uncertainty, we have a plan to secure our future, and it starts in the Ring of Fire, an area in Northern Ontario rich with critical minerals, the ones needed to build medical devices. We can create more than 70,000 jobs across the province by unearthing these minerals and add $22 billion to Ontario's economy. That's how we protect Ontario, made from the Ring of Fire.
With Amex Platinum, almost every purchase made with your card can be covered with points, including new tastes, new fits, and virtually everything in between. That's the powerful backing of Amex.
All right, friends, it is the final round. Zippers, goggles, bottles. This country's ready to pop.
Jays giving everything they've got here in this World Series against the Dodgers. You just saw some video of a lot of the key contributors here in Game 4. They've got a 6-1 lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Bassitt is back on the mound after a very efficient 3-up, 3-down 7th, including getting Ohtani for the last out. So he's got Betts, Freeman, and Smith here in the 8th.
No. You know, we acknowledge Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. But on a given night, the Blue Jays handled him very well, from the mound and at the plate.
And tonight, 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 of the 3 out strikeouts. Over the head of a leaping Jimenez, it's a base hit for Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, we talked about he being a future Hall of Famer. He had a terrific career. He's not had a great season, but here's a little liner to start it. Andres Jimenez doing his best, but he just couldn't make a play. As Betts has a leadoff single here in the 8th.
Here's Freddie Freeman, 2 for 3, and the hero of last night's game. And strike one taken. Oh, and 2. with some support out of the bullpen in case any is needed. Louis Varland is up for the second time. By the way, this is the first time Bassitt has pitched on consecutive days in the big leagues. You got to go back to his minor league career. And he strikes out Freeman for out number 1.
I'll tell you what, he's having a blast pitching out of the pen. He elevates that fastball, and it's a big swing and a miss for Freddie Freeman. So Freeman, who was 2 for 3, that's a cutter that kind of sails up and away from Freddie Freeman, and it's a big first out of this 8th inning.
Here's Will Smith, who is 0 for 3. Grounded foul. The Blue Jays got 2 in the 3rd on the home run by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and then tacked on 4 in the 7th. And they have kept this potent Dodger offense quiet for the most part so far here tonight.
No!
That'll run in, a ball and a strike. They're trying to make themselves heard. Outnumbered, but having the time of their lives. How about the curveball?
He's always had that weapon. That is a terrific breaking ball for him. He's so patient when he throws it. If you try to muscle that pitch, it's not going to break. But he is so confident in it, he can flip it in there for a strike. Almost at will.
No.
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
That's the lead being held on by Guerrero. And the 2-2 to Smith. Ground ball to short. To second 1. To first. To turn 2. 2 great innings for Chris Bassitt. A little help from his defense behind him. 6 very important outs. So the Blue Jays still lead by 5.
FanDuel Casino presents Halloween. Trick and get treated with countless ways to play. Explore new and exciting games, including NHL Collectum. And all your favorite casino classics, like slots, table games, and arcade games. Plus, dial up the excitement with even more jackpots. Celebrate Halloween on FanDuel Casino.
Okay, how about we write a scary movie?
Ooh, spooky.
A scary Canadian movie.
Oh, we can get government funding.
A hockey team, snowed in at a chalet, no power, no food, and there's a slasher on the loose. This doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because Skip is Canadian, so Canadians could just skip it. Hey.
Yeah, I'm good. What makes a bank more than a bank? It's someone being there when it counts. A partner that's there through the highs and the hard parts. Because let's face it, when life gets real, RBC is the bank we Canadians turn to. Where your ideas happen because you deserve a track record, not a trend. It's okay. I'm the spokes guy.
McCain, together is golden.
You just can't say enough about the job that Chris Bassitt is doing, coming off the IL after a back issue, pitching in an unfamiliar situation, unless you count many years ago when he was a reliever. 2 great innings tonight, a long conversation between Bassitt and John Schneider about how you feeling, what should you do, and the decision made, it looks like, to take him out. Got a couple of high fives now. Pete Walker gets in on the conversation with Bassitt and Schneider as well. Do they send him out for a 3rd inning to try to finish it off, or do they take him out now and give the 9th inning to somebody else?
They really trust Chris Bassitt and his honesty, and they're having an extended conversation about the next move. How do you feel? You still got enough in it? And then he gets the handshake, so that's pretty much clear that he's out of the game. But what a job he has done, not only in this game, but the entire postseason, as he's been activated, and now he is a big part of this bullpen.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will lead off the top of the 9th. Vladdy hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd. His first home run here in the World Series, his 7th home run in the postseason. He already held the single season record. He's now got the Blue Jay franchise career record as well. And he's got a base hit into right.
Well, we have seen this movie before. When Vladdy gets going, it's tough to cool him off. I don't care who's pitching tomorrow. When he starts getting his stroke and his timing down, he can be a real handful for the pitcher in tomorrow's game.
His 2nd hit of the night, and the 11th hit of the game for the Blue Jays to just 5 for the Dodgers. Here's Bo Bichette, who's got one of those hits, an RBI single in the 7th.
How about Bo? He missed 7 weeks at the end of the season, wasn't active until the start of this World Series, and he's swinging the bat like he's in July.
He's 4 for 10 with a couple of walks.
And he hit that line drive off the fence and left the last time up.
So if it's not Bassitt, it looks like it'll be Varland for the bottom of the 9th. Remember, Jeff Hoffman went 2 innings in last night's game and threw 33 pitches. Varland went an inning and a 3rd and threw 20.
No.
And they'd love to win this game without needing Hoffman tonight so that he can presumably and hopefully, Buck, be back at full strength tomorrow.
Yeah, and you know, they'd like to give him another full day off. Just keep him quiet down there in the bullpen.
And Varland has established himself as the guy who's willing and able to pitch every single day. Two and two on Bichette.
No.
In the dirt, it's full.
Timeout.
Barger on deck.
Big 2.
Ground ball to first. Freeman will recover and put the tag on Bichette, going by Guerrero into second. So it will advance the runner, and it'll bring up Barger, who's 2 for 4, had an RBI single his last time out.
Here we go.
Pitching matchup for tomorrow is the same as game 1 back at Rogers Center. Trey Savage against Blake Snell.
And it will be Savage's first playoff start on the road. All of the previous ones have come at Rogers Center.
Yeah, he wanted to wait till he got to a big ballpark. A historic ballpark for sure.
0-2.
I'm anxious to watch him pitch, given the fact that, you know, he struggled through 4 innings, but kept the Dodgers in check to the tune of just 2 runs and didn't have his best pitch, didn't have his splitter.
Here we go.
Strike 3 called. Good pitch by Dreyer. 2 down.
And Dreyer's got a good arm. And he paints that outside corner with that four-seam fastball and catches Barger looking.
Intentional walk.
And now Dave Roberts is going to intentionally walk Alejandro Kirk with a base open and bring up the left-hand hitting Dalton Varsho.
They walked Kirk in the game last night in the 12th inning as well.
And it's 0-1 on Varsho. The Dodgers will bring up their 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the bottom of the 9th inning. Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, and Tommy Edman. And 2 on Varsho as he swings over the top with another slider down and away.
Turn out.
Foul back. So Bieber 5 1/3, just a run on 4 hits. Mason Fluharty 2 really big outs in the 6th when it was still a 1-run game. Chris Bassett 2 scoreless innings, and it looks like it'll be Louis Varland in the bottom of the 9th. And it's strike 3 called to get Varsho and retire the side. Going bottom 9, the Blue Jays 3 outs away from evening up the World Series at 2 wins apiece.
You know where the Blue Jays are from. But pride doesn't stop at city limits. It goes beyond. Finding home in more than a city. It takes root in a whole nation. Let's go, baby! Because home isn't just a point on a map. It's a feeling in our hearts. And right now, this pride can be felt from coast to coast to coast. Now that we've made it this far, it's time to bring it home.
Hey, it's Ken LeBlanc. We have Sportsnet Central presented by KFC coming up after the game. Hey, Ozma.
Yes, Kenny?
It looks like everybody's going to be able to get their sleep tonight after Sportsnet Central.
Yes. Tune in because we'll have tons of post-game reaction.
Everything. We have Shai Davidi standing by, and Shai's going to tell you about a streak that he ended tonight, and we're going to recap what's been a pretty smooth game for the Jays so far.
Fingers crossed. Back to L.A.
Putting it out there.
The after.
Bottom of the 9th inning, guys, and the Blue Jays 3 outs away from evening up this series. And again, the added bonus to that is it ensures the World Series will go back to Toronto. They are up 6-1. A big 4-run 7th inning. The early homer from Guerrero. A great start from Bieber, Fluharty, Bassett, and now Varland.
Louis Varland, what a postseason he has put together. He's been a workhorse for the Blue Jays, and whenever they need him, he is ready to go. He's done a great job pitching in this postseason. He's stayed ready every single day, and he has answered the call. When you look at what he has done now, he's made 13 appearances with this appearance tonight, total of 13 innings. He's given up some hits, but he's been an important guy to come in and shut down the opponents in tough situations. He pitched in last night's game and did a good job.
13 outings is one shy of the Major League record for a single postseason. And this is a record basically that only could have been established in the last 30 years once the wild card round started. But still, we're talking about 30 years. Brandon Morrow and Paul Assenbacher each with 14. And Louis Varland making his 13th appearance in 15 games.
And I believe Brandon Morrow made that with the Dodgers.
Correct.
Yep.
Teoscar Hernandez leading off the bottom of the ninth.
Now.
Outside, 2-0.
Now.
And missed again, 3-0. All fastballs so far, but Varland unable to find the strike zone to this point. Hernandez taking all the way, 3-1. Pretty cool to be at a World Series with your dad when you're about 7, 8 years old. And seeing the team you're rooting for leading 6-1 going to the bottom of the ninth. Tomorrow night starter Trey Yesavage.
No.
Ball 4.
Teo's a tough guy to walk. They only walked 26 times during the regular season. But with his team down by 5, he wasn't going to swing at anything off the plate.
Here's Max Muncy, 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Ripped into the right field corner, a fair ball. Barger's got it, but the Dodgers have runners at second and third.
Well, after that leadoff walk, Muncy was looking for something to hit on the first pitch, and he jumped all over that pitch, drove it to the corner and right. Louis Varland walked to Oscar, and now the Dodgers have something going here in the ninth. Right down the middle, it's 99, but these hitters in the big leagues, they can hit a bullet if it's over the plate.
And Jeff Hoffman is now getting up. And Pete Walker is heading to the mound to buy a little time for Hoffman. Again, they would rather not use Hoffman tonight. But obviously, Buck, if they feel they need to, it'll be a quick decision.
Yeah, and you know what? Jeff Hoffman started to stretch as soon as Varland went to the mound to start the ninth, just in case. And a walk and a double has got him up throwing. And he is throwing to get ready to come into this game. This is not a, hey, get up and go along with him. It's, hey, get up and get ready. They might use him after Tommy Edman.
Edman, the number 7 hitter in the Dodger order. A base hit, a walk, and a strikeout tonight. Infield is back for the Blue Jays with the exception of Clement at third, just wary of a possible bunt. If Edman tries to bunt for a base hit, they will not care at all about letting a run score to get an out on a ground ball.
Remember, these two teams are the best two teams that comeback wins all season long. They've both come back from deficits all season. You got to put out the fire.
Bounced in and blocked by Kirk. They are keeping the faith here at Dodger Stadium.
I think Louis Varland's got one more batter. I think Jeff Hoffman's going to get loose and come into this game, so he's got a little room to work.
Getting closer and closer to the top of the order. A ball and 2 strikes on Edman now. Hernandez at third, Muncy at second, and nobody out. Ground ball to third. Clement has it. And across to first in time. Hernandez will score, but they get Edman for the first out.
Yeah, you just got to take outs right now. And Edman hit it hard, but right to Clement, who looked back. Muncy is second and fired across the diamond. So after he got it out, he'll get another batter, Kike Hernandez.
Inside, ball one. But I think I'm with you. One more base runner, and they would go to Hoffman just to give him some wiggle room.
Jeff's had plenty of time to get loose.
He went 1-1. Curveball there, 1-2. Varland has his sign. And the pitch. No. Another curve. Did not go, and it's 2-2.
Ohtani is 2 hitters away. Carl is on deck. Ohtani's in the hole.
He gets Hernandez for a big second out.
Boy, what a great breaking ball right there. 2 big outs. Edman grounded out to third, and Kike Hernandez strikes out on a wicked curveball.
Frustration for Hernandez. The Blue Jays now an out away, and it'll be Alex Call.
Keep walking out there. Nice man.
52,552 here tonight. The Blue Jays up 6-2 in the bottom of the 9th. In there, 0-1 as he got the benefit of the doubt at the bottom of the zone. The set and a step off. That may have been just a little more indecision on the part of Varland. Obviously, Muncy's not even a concern. The only concern would be is if he's relaying something from second base. Otherwise, he's not somebody to be worried about at all. And again.
Well, that's really interesting.
He might intentionally balk him to third. I think he's going to do it again and just get him to third. It doesn't matter where Muncy is, but if they're worried he's giving something away, send him to third base. And Kirk, I think, is telling him. Yeah,
that's what he did.
It's an intentional balk. They're purposely sending him to third. It doesn't matter if he's at second or third. It's not the tying run. They are just concerned that Muncy is relaying something from second base.
Yeah, you know what? It's not a bad idea just to get him out there and put Louis Varland's mind at ease. Give him a free opportunity here to work to the number 9 hitter. Ohtani's on deck. This is the guy you got to get out to finish the game.
No. If it's 6-5, obviously they don't do that, but it's 6-2, it doesn't matter at all. A ball and a strike, and even if this game extends and Ohtani comes up, he's not the tying run. No. 2 balls and a strike on call. This is the guy Varland has to get. In the air to left field, but Straw is there, and the Blue Jays win it. They get a great team effort up and down the lineup from every pitcher who took part in this game, and they beat the Dodgers 6-2, and they have evened up the World Series at 2 wins apiece.
How about the 7th inning? The Blue Jays sent 9 men to the plate, and again, it was the bottom of the order that got it started. Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement hitting 6th and 7th in the order, had a single and a double. And then Andres Jimenez gets a base hit to left field to drive in the first run. They would go on to score 4 runs on 5 hits in that 7th inning and took command of this game 4. Now it's even once again, and this is down to a best 2 out of 3 series from here on in.
What a performance by the Blue Jays. Everybody who took part in this game. Remember, no George Springer in this game. And they still find a way. And they beat the Dodgers 6-2. Shane Bieber gets the win. Fluharty, Bassett, and Varland finish it up. One way or another, no matter what happens tomorrow night, this series is going back to the Rogers Center. The 2025 MLB season will end at the Rogers Center in Toronto.
Pretty awesome. It's been a great run for the Blue Jays in this postseason. They beat the Yankees, they beat the Mariners, and now it's 2-2 against the LA Dodgers in the World Series. Pretty special season for the Blue Jays.
Got to give them all the credit in the world. Underdogs, undermanned. But again, as you said, a team that never gives up. Showed that today, showed their medal once again. Guerrero got it started. Can't say enough about what Shane Bieber did. You talk about justifying a trade. Shane Bieber did that tonight.
He sure did. And you know what? He stepped up when the Blue Jays needed him. He did it in the series against the Mariners, winning Game 3. And he's done it again tonight in Game 4 to even the series at 2 games apiece. He was outstanding. Mason Fluharty came out of the bullpen with a couple of men on board, threw 4 pitches, and got forced out, got 2 outs.
Hazel Mays down on the field with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Thanks, Dan. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got things started with his first World Series home run. And Vladdy, you did it against Shohei Ohtani, a guy who is very difficult to face, yet you've had success against him in the past. Why is he so effective?
I mean, like I always say, he's one of the best pitching and hitting. I mean, a ball player, you know, and but when we in the field, we got to compete, and that's what I always trying to do, compete for my city, compete for the team, and when you're competing, something good happens.
Bo Bichette did something very good. He drove in a run here in the World Series. You and Bo often talk about how you dreamt about playing in World Series games together. He's missed 7 weeks, Vladdy. How happy are you that he's back in the lineup and to see him contributing once again?
I mean, I'm so happy, man. I always give you advice, just breathe. You know, he missed every playoff game, you know, and he activated in the World Series. You know, it's not easy in the World Series, but I always told him breathe and believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself and you breathe, everything, you slow down everything.
Vladdy, before I let you go, this win means the World Series will go back to Rogers Center. At the beginning of this game, there was almost 30,000 people at Rogers Center watching you. What would you like to say to them all?
I mean, I want to say thank you for always being there for us, and we're trying to win tomorrow, and I want to be you guys be loud in the game 6 when we get home.
Congratulations, Vladdy. The series now tied at 2 thanks to you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
An October to remember continues for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and this entire team as they beat the Dodgers tonight, Buck, 6-2. They have evened up the World Series at 2 wins apiece. And Trey Yesavage will be on the mound in Game 5 against Blake Snell, a rematch of Game 1 tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Trey get an opportunity to make a second start in the World Series. He didn't have his best stuff, but he kept the Blue Jays in position to win it. And you'll see tomorrow he'll be matched up against Blake Snell, and Ohtani will be back in the game. The Blue Jays handled Ohtani as a pitcher, and they handled him as a hitter tonight. So on any given night, the Jays shut down the best player in baseball.
Isn't it amazing how in 24 hours the feeling in a series can change? Last night they lose as heartbreaking of a game as you can ever lose, and they lose George Springer. We don't know for how long, but they find a way to win tonight, and the sun seems to be shining a little brighter in Blue Jay land right now.
And you know what? This team has got a whole roster of character guys, and they're never going to give in to the moment of the emotions. They have the knack for having a very short memory, and when they lose, they don't worry about it and carry it to the next day.
Andres Gimenez had one of the biggest hits in this game. A great at-bat, an RBI single in that 4-run seventh. He's with Hazel.
Thanks very much, Dan. Andres looked at me and said, hey, I'm back again. How good are you feeling here in the World Series?
It's been great, you know. I'm really happy for the team. We've been competing. That's what I love the most about this team. We're competing. It doesn't matter what happened last night. We play 18 innings, and we show up tonight, and we compete, and I'm really happy for the team.
Dan mentioned a huge hit from you against Anthony Banda, who's been really tough on lefties. How did you get to that pitch away? How did you do it?
I mean, that was basically my two-strike approach. Banda, you know, he's a pretty good lefty on lefty, but you know, I have to bring the run. Doesn't matter how. You know, I have to make my job, and you know, thanks God I put the ball on play, and we got the RBI, and then we got the big inning.
Shane Bieber was terrific. 1 earned over 4+ innings. You know him well as a former teammate there in Cleveland. What did you see from him that reminded you of the Bieber back with the Guardians?
Yeah, last night when I went to bed, I was like, oh, Bieber pitch tomorrow. So I was I got plenty confidence on him, any of my teammates, but especially with Bieber because I played with him the last 4 years and I know what kind of pitcher he is, and he loves this situation. He loves to compete, and I'm really happy for him, and he's our guy, you know.
You know who I'm happy for, Andres? Blue Jays fans, because guess what? You're going back to Rogers Center for another World Series game. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Andres Gimenez, stand back to you.
Look at the smile on his face. Again, a big at-bat. John Schneider said, I got faith in him to make contact, and he did. Speaking of contact, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his first ever World Series home run. The Blue Jays 6, the Dodgers 2. The World Series is even at 2 wins apiece. Time now for Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC.
Vladdy Guerrero, the 2-run shot at the top of the third, gave the Jays a 2-1 lead. That's the reaction at the Rogers Center, and I'm sure they were partying in Botwood, Newfoundland, as well, all the way up to Dawson Creek, BC. Canada, great news. The Jays win, and we get to sleep tonight. Series tied 2-2. This is Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC. Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmak, 6-2 Blue Jays.
Oh, man, no George Springer going on, less rest than normal, and yet the Jays do what they've done all regular season, all postseason, is they pick themselves up, they rebound.